future and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Hope inside, yeah. Inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh,
Hello, everyone.
Inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright.
Good evening. I hope we are keeping well. Happy Thursday.
Rainbow, the promise, the future and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, yeah. Inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn
Elder Adebenga, I
of a new
see
day
you now.
bring understanding.
Good evening. Thank you for liking the live already. Please help me share. I just got lost trying to type the topic for today and shorten it as much as possible, but it's just not happening. So balancing independence and unity in marriage. That's the topic for today, but as we carry on, we'll see. I just like it that when people join, they can tell what we're talking about from the topic, really. Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope we are good. Thank you so much. Please help me share this live. Help me like this live as you're joining. Bridget, I see you. Share to your friends. If you click down on your screen for about 4 seconds, some names will automatically pop up on your screen. Click send, and scroll down. Keep sending to all of your friends. Let them be part of this crucial talk on Insight with FunmiRoyal. This beautiful Thursday, the day the Lord has made. Indeed, we ought to rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you so much. Balancing independence and unity, or with unity in marriage. I don't know how to put it that way. That's the best way to put almost all of it in there. But as we talk on, you will get to understand. Kenny Eileman, aka Son of Peace. Well, thank God. Son of Peace. Yeah, we want peace in our land, isn't it? Thank you so much for joining, Kenny. Please help me share this live to your friends. Let them be part of our crucial talk today. It's Thursday here. Thursday we talk about marriage talks. And if you know this is not for you, you can still stay. You can learn 1 or 2 things. Zen, I see you. Thanks for joining. Good evening. Yes, balancing independence with unity in marriage. So this AI summary, if you want to help me capture this, capture it well. Thank you so much. This is just about how much I can fit into that screen. Good evening, good evening. Thanks for joining. I hope you're still in Thursday. And if you're in Friday, well, happy Friday to you. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to Insight with FunmiRoyal today.
Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love.
Nancy, I see you. Good evening.
Inside. Inside.
Princess T, good evening. Welcome. Ems, I see you. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I'm gonna go to my talk shortly and just expand it some more. Today we're talking about balancing independence with unity in marriage. So pardon me, this is as much as I can fit into that screen up there. But like I said, as we carry on, you will have a better understanding. If you're married, this is the right place to be. Cherry Unique, I see you. Shan, good evening. Thank you so much for joining. Help me share this live to your married friends, those talking about marriage relationships and what have you. Fresh, good evening. I see you. Shan, I hope your day has been good or the week has been good. I'm going to go into the talk, like I said, try to expand it some more. Let's reflect, as I give this talk, because there's so many aspects I may not touch on tonight, and that's where you come in. Like I always say, even if I speak for a whole day, I still cannot cover all aspects, of this topic. It's been fair. Well, thank God for making it fair for you. Thank God. Yes, it's been a busy one for me. If I had to nap in between cooking and getting ready to come on Inside. And I think I feel somewhat refreshed a bit. Thank you, Red Butterfly. I see you. Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on Inside. So I'm going to go into the talk, give you something to kind of, reflect on, like I said, and help you check maybe. And you don't have to agree with everything I'm saying, guys. That's why I want to share your views as well. So when I finish, I'm going to open the boxes to us. We'll come in and expand this and talk some more. Because on Thursday, we talk about marriage talks. They're just topics that affect a marriage relationship. Sometimes people have broken up, separated, divorced because of certain aspects of marriage they don't want to talk about, or it's become a huge conflict. They can't find a resolution, and therefore everybody's gone their separate ways. But I know that God, who created the marriage institution, knew or knows it can work. And if it's not working, then let's just check ourselves, because God is perfect. Perhaps me, the wife, I'm not doing what I'm expected to do, or my husband is not doing what he's expected to do or to be doing in the marriage. And that's why we're not enjoying the goodness of marriage as God intended. So pull your seat, sit down. If you have to get your juice, your orange, your tea, whatever, sit down. Let us talk about this issue. If you're going through it, like I said, this is the right place for you to be. You may have gone through it in the past, trying to balance your independence as an individual, yet with unity as a couple in that marriage. A lot of people do not see eye to eye sometimes regarding this, and the best way I can live life is just to go my way, you go your way. Otherwise, I don't want to jump the note. And I have two interesting questions for us, and today I have a riddle as well just to laugh whilst cracking our head to the solution. So sit with me, let us go on this ride on Inside with FunmiRoyal today, the 7th of May 2026. So balancing independence with marriage. So this is what we're going to be looking at in depth today, and it's a very, very important topic. and sometimes is often misunderstood in marriage. And that's why I need us to really focus more, think more about what I'm saying. Even if you're not married, you intend to get married someday, these are things to kind of help prepare you for what marriage can bring as well. So balancing independence with unity, like I said, that's what we're looking at today. Marriages, or marriage will bring two different individuals together, each with their own personality, their own background, their values and identity. And the challenge is this, really: how do we remain ourselves while becoming one? The Bible talks about two becoming one flesh. 1 + 1 is 1 before God. And that's the concept God put into marriage. However, how do we remain ourselves while becoming one with our spouse, with our partner? So, I want us to understand these two concepts in a more in-depth way. Marriage is both a union, meaning oneness, partnership. It's a shared life, no doubt about that, as well as an individuality, okay? Personal identity, because that's what you're bringing into that marriage relationship. Growth and expression. The way you express yourself is going to be different to how your spouse express themselves. Sometimes you might find out that maybe once in a while you tend to express yourself, sometimes in the same way, but not all the time, really. So true balance means not losing yourself in the marriage. Okay, you cannot do everything like your spouse. You cannot do everything with your spouse all the time. It's just not going to be a balanced life, really. True balance means, and as well, also not living as if you are single. There's a saying, married but single. What on earth does that mean? Married but single. You're married to your spouse, but you're still living your bachelor life, your spinster life, kind of. Will that work? It can only work for so long before each of you or both of you start realizing, like, are we really married? Or everybody's just still living life as they know how to. So let's look at the foundation of unity. Like I say, I'm going to try and break it down as much as possible, but I still need you guys, that. Help me share this live. Share. A13, I see you. Big Plus, good evening. Motivation, I see you. Sexy D, Baby Lynn, I see you. Good evening to you all. So the foundation of unity. Unity in marriage, it means shared vision, mutual respect, not one-sided respect. Guys, let's follow on. Mutual respect. It means emotional connection. It means teamwork. Talking about foundation of unity in a marriage relationship. And of course, my Bible says to me in Genesis 2:24, it's a popular verse. It says, and they shall become one flesh. You and your husband, you and your wife, you will become one flesh. I said that earlier on. So it just means that this Bible passage talks about oneness, not sameness. Oneness, not sameness. You can't copy everything each other is doing. No. But as you are, you do things together. Two individuals, one purpose. Marriage. That marriage union. And again, like I said, that's the foundation of unity. Let's look at the role of independence. And I hope I'm not rushing us too much. I want us to reflect on this as we go along. Help me share, like I said, share to your friends. So the role of independence. Independence is also important, and it includes personal growth, self-awareness. And we're still talking about marriage now, guys, don't get me wrong. Good evening, Leslie. I hope you're good. When you're talking about the role of independence, you're talking about emotional responsibility of you as an individual. Your emotional responsibility to yourself first, and then to your partner. Anyway, I don't want to, skip, but let me just go on steadily. And again, it means healthy boundaries. Oh, you might say, we're one flesh. There should be no boundaries. There should be da. Let's break it down and have an open mind. Have an open mindset to this, really, and think more, reflect more about what I'm saying. A healthy individual contributes to a healthy marriage. If something is wrong with me emotionally, I'm not aware of myself, there's no personal growth, what am I bringing to that union as an individual? So let us look at the benefits of balancing independence and unity in that marriage relationship. The benefit is you're going to have stronger identity because you know who you are. Your husband know who they are. Both of you individually coming together, it's going to be a powerhouse. Each partner maintains a sense of self. Queen Ella, good evening. Reducing insecurity and dependency. Some people, the moment they get married, they are just lost. They can't do nothing. They can't breathe other than their spouse breathing for them, other than the spouse doing everything for them. They're so insecure, like they just want clinging and all of that. Let's calm down. You're supposed to get married but not lose yourself. As a result, say mutual respect matters in marriage. Yeah. That's why I said it's not one-sided. It goes both ways. Another benefit of balancing that independence as an individual and then the unity of you two coming together as one is healthy communication. Because you're a strong person of your own, you have you're secured in yourself, you depend so much on yourself. If anything happens, you're an individual who can still stand by themselves. Therefore, you need healthy communication. So, independent thinkers communicate better and they also express themselves clearly. So, as you're an individual, yet in a union, does not mean you cannot communicate in a healthy way. So then we do have husbands who are uxorious. Oh wow, that's a big word now. Leslie, you have to break it down for some of us. We don't understand English. So independent thinkers. When two of you can think independently and you come together to think about a matter or to think about a plan, to think about a goal, you find out that, oh my goodness, you're a powerhouse. Teamwork. But when one is like this, the other is strong, it's not going to be balanced. And we're looking at this balance right now. Mutual respect that we're talking about. Respect grows when both individuals value each other's uniqueness. You can't come all the time and say, can't you do things the way I do it? You must do things the way I do it all the time. No. I beg to differ. Husbands who are deeply fond of their wives. It's good to be deeply fond of each other, but then they should not be lost in themselves. They should not be lost in who they are as a person. Otherwise, you might not just like each other again after a while. Some people, in a way, might be good, might be bad. There's always a thin line. When husband is sneezing, the wife too will start sneezing. Husband is saying headache, the wife too will say headache. Seriously, how about calm down? Anyway, let's come back to mutual respect. Respect grows when both individuals value each other's uniqueness. You know that your wife is not you, you're not your wife. However, when two have become one, it brings about this uniqueness. I remembered when we were running about for our engagement, the introduction and the engagement ceremony and all of that, we had to visit some relatives we had not seen in years. My husband, I remembered, the mom said to him, oh, your auntie is in Surulere somewhere. Go to her. There's some certain, I'll say this and I'll translate. They say, Eruyawo, meaning bride price, certain aspects of the bride price that mom has said they've given it to auntie. She's in Lagos, somewhere in Surulere. Go to her and get those stuffs, get them ready. So me and my husband, we decided to go there that day. And he had not seen this auntie for a very long time. but I think they do talk or something, I don't know, they meet back at home when everybody go home for Christmas and what have you. I was meeting this auntie for the first time, and of course she said, oh, she's heard so much about me. And then she kept staring at me. She kept staring at me. I'm like, well, why? You know, if I was just thinking, why is she staring at me? And then honestly, it's like she read my mind. And then she said, my daughter, they look you, because she was speaking pidgin. So she was looking at me because she can't get over the fact that I look so much like my husband. Oh, I could breathe, because I thought, maybe does she like me? Does she not like me or something? And then she said, you guys look so much alike. In fact, she cracked it. Just said, in PJ, said, which time your mama born this one when I don't know? Meaning, when did your mom give birth to this daughter that I did not know? The resemblance to her, the way we so look alike. You know, and with time, of course, people say, you people, you look alike, you look like brother and sister. Even church folks thought, is that your brother? In fact, some people thought we were twins. All sorts. I say now, wow, this must be a match made in heaven, really. I mean, we started attending a new church whilst we were planning to get married. And I remember when we go for choir practice in this new church, we'll go for choir practice, and we still stayed back in our old church because we wanted to get married there and all of that, and then move on to this new church. So we'll go for choir practice, and the tenor is there, my husband was playing instruments and all of that, and this guy had the audacity. He'd always seen us we'll go there together, you know, me and my husband, or we're not married, we're engaged. And then this guy would just come and say, sister, this in my mind. I'm like, don't waste your time, mommy. I am taking, you know, in case you don't know. And then he pointed to my husband on the keyboard and said, is that your brother? You guys look alike. Are you twins? Hey. I said, actually, I'm engaged. We are engaged. We're going to get married maybe a couple of months or whatever. And the guy, you could see the disappointment. What am I trying to say? You are unique. Even if you look alike, like you're born twins, you are still unique individual by yourself, each person individually. So I want respect. You want respect. It is reciprocal. We have to give this to one another. Susan, good evening. Thanks for joining in. Again, another aspect or another benefit of balancing that independence and unity is growth and fulfillment. Each partner continues to grow personally while building together. I mean, for crying out loud, my husband is a project manager. He's a scrum master, all this, all this project management, whatever. I'm a counselor. I'm a teacher, and would I not say, because we are married, two have become one, I will leave my counseling profession, I'll leave my teaching profession, me too, I want to become a project manager. I must just be like, well, it works for some, don't get me wrong, but why are you changing to what your husband is doing? Is it because of that everybody say, they truly won, in fact, they'll be more fulfilled, no, I go do my thing, I'm fulfilled, and I come back home fulfilled. He goes, does his thing, comes back fulfilled. Together we stand strong in our field, but we're still building together. Because when that money comes into that account, it's not going to specify, okay, this one counseling, project management, we're going to spend it on all the bills that we have and stuff like that. So growth and fulfillment. I might not find fulfillment if I switch over to what he's doing. If he switches over to counseling, I don't know whether he has the patience enough or, whether he'll be fulfilled as well. But each of us growing in our field, each of us growing personally and bringing that, on board in the marriage to make us stronger together. And again, another benefit is emotional stability. No one person carries the full burden of the other's happiness. In fact, at some point, this is one hard truth. I will say it because so far, I think it's helped me so far. Because otherwise, one will be most miserable sometimes. When you talk about emotional stability, fine. You're meant to be there for one another emotionally. You're meant to bring happiness to each other, joy and all of that. But is it always the case 24/7? You don't annoy each other. In fact, the little happiness you have sometimes feel like your partner is, squeezing it out of you. Sometimes it feels so. But if I put the whole burden of my happiness 100% on my husband, hey, I bet he would have run away ages ago. So you find out that you yourself, you have to make yourself happy. Anything your husband or your wife is adding to it, it is extra as far as I'm concerned. Because if they're miserable, that means you too, you'll be most miserable. And nobody's there to kind of cheer each other up, so to say. So as an individual, do you have your happiness to start with? Or you're just expecting your spouse to make you to be happy all the time 100%. That is not going to be a fair deal. So together you're strong individually, together you're happy individually, and you bring that together. It's going to be bam, greatness altogether. Are you emotionally stable as a wife? Are you emotionally stable as a husband? Because if both of you are not emotionally stable, then you're going to have an emotionally unstable relationship. And this will affect that marriage in the long run, really. So those are the benefits. I'm going to give us the pros as well of independence in marriage. Like I said, is good when you can stand on your 2 feet while still in that union. I know that the pros, like I said, first is encourages self-development. Because you're standing alone, you know where you're lacking, you know what you need to improve in yourself. Because if you keep looking at your partner all the time, if they don't improve themselves, you too, you're not going to improve yourself. There isn't going to be any self-development both ways. It reduces emotional pressure on your partner because you're emotionally fit for yourself. And even if they're rubbing off on you, they are carrying their emotional baggage, you're standing strong. And now imagine both of you carrying your emotional baggages and carrying it well. And then together in that union, there's going to be some emotional baggages there that you have to deal with. Now imagine both of you are not even standing. The pressure has pulled you apart. How do you want to stand? How do you want to build emotional stability or strength with your partner in that relationship? So we need to be mindful. Another pros I'll say is it builds confidence and self-worth. Thank you so much for the heart, me. It builds confidence and self-worth because your independence, you know your worth as a person, and you're bringing that person of worth into that union. Your spouse also is bringing a person of worth, and together you're not going to make each other feel worthless, so to say. I know issues of life will happen in the long run or along the way, but imagine both of you having your individual self-worth and coming into that union. Like I said, it's going to be a powerhouse, and it promotes personal responsibility. As an individual, you're independent, you know your responsibility, you carry out well. Your spouse, they know their responsibility, they carry out well. Together, you're not going to be lacking much as such in terms of, fulfilling responsibilities. And again, the pros of, that's the pros of independence. Let's look at the pros of unity in marriage. It strengthens emotional connection because you're bonding, getting to know each other as you journey along. This is a lifetime journey together with your spouse. So when you're united, of course, it builds teamwork, like I've said, and partnership. Both two have become one flesh. Encourages shared goals and vision. That's why good communication, healthy communication is important. You sit down and talk about, sometimes you have individual goals, and then by the time you pull that together, my goodness, you'll be amazed at what you come up with in that union. And you have a bigger vision, and both of you working towards that. And of course, it creates stability and security. You can be rest assured that your spouse is stable enough, they feel secure in themselves, and they've brought it on into that union. However, there are dangers of imbalance, because I like to bring both sides for us. That's why I said tonight, bring your reflection or reflecting hat on, bring it on, because you have to think about this. Even if you're not married and you're listening to me right now, these are things you need to start thinking about. because there are dangers of imbalance. Too much independence can bring emotional distance. You find out that you're just living life. Some people, I don't even know how they do it. Husband working in one nation, the wife living in another nation, maybe on occasions, or I don't know, occasionally they will come together, and each person will always feel like a stranger all the time. So too much independence. Sometimes when you have to get married and you know how your work life is, either you decide to all relocate to a particular place or a new place altogether and start afresh. These things must be talked about. Otherwise, it can affect your relationship, your marriage relationship. If you don't want that emotional distance, you will have to sit and talk about things. My dear, we have to move to this side. And it doesn't matter whether who's earning or who's not earning. This thing has to be discussed and agreed on. And that's where the unity comes in. Lack of connection. When there's too much independence, you're not connecting. Some are just gone one project after another, from one country to another, to this nation to another. The relationship is on the phone. They are married on the phone. How long can this last for, really? Too much independence. You don't feel the need to come and bond with your spouse or to build that unity or that union. Again, living separate lives under one roof when there's too much independence. Sometimes some couple, they don't start off this way, but as they journey in life in that marriage, they drift into that space, living separate lives. Maybe there's a long-standing conflict that has not been resolved and nobody is ready to, submit to anything. Everybody still want to have their way. One is coming, the other is going. Sometimes they find themselves in that space. There's too much independence and they don't feel the need to build together. I pray that the Lord will intervene in such homes, in such marriages. And again, too much independence might just reduce communication. If they know I love them. Oh, they know I'm always here. Oh, they know, but you're not saying this to them. You're not reassuring them. You're not communicating that to them. You just feel, and then you reduce the level of communication. How is this supposed to help? These are the dangers, so many, some of the dangers of imbalance when you have too much independence. And this can make the marriage feel like a partnership without intimacy. Yes, on paper you've signed the document, you're married, but it's like a partnership without intimacy. There is no kind of intimacy you're going to have over the phone, virtual calls or whatever. There is no kind of intimacy you're going to have over there. So when there's too much independence, it brings, all this that I've mentioned. Again, too much dependence, because like I said, I'm trying to break this down as much as possible, meaning loss of independence can bring loss of identity. Some people, their orientation, their knowledge about marriage, oh my goodness, you wonder whoever sat them down to tell them all these silly things about marriage. Some women believe the moment they are married, they should never work. They're just housewife. Their husband will cater for their morning, afternoon, their night, every single day, 24/7, all the time. And this can be overwhelming. They just lose their identity. Some people are at the peak of their career. They are making waves, doing stuff in their career, and they're getting promotion and they're climbing up the ladder and all. Bam, they get married. They just resigned. They're just sitting at home, watching TV, raising children, and that's just the end of them. They've lost their identity. But marriage is not meant to do this to us. Rather, you're doing all of that, making ways and doing all of that. Now your partner, who is also strong, comes in. You should do more. That's what it means. You should do more and not just lose your identity or yourself altogether. Too much dependence on your spouse may just be too overwhelming, and this in the long run will bring about its own issues. Too much independence brings emotional dependency. Your morning, afternoon, night, you're crying, the morning, afternoon, night, you can't even hold yourself for the life of you. Or the man is just so emotionally overwhelmed all the time, and it's so much on the spouse. You cannot hold that space for yourself. for a moment and let your spouse breathe. It could be the man to the woman. That's why I said that. It could be the woman to the man. You're meant to be there emotionally for each other. I get it. But there's some aspect that you have to hold it by yourself. And that yourself is the one you're bringing on board. Again, too much dependence or loss of independence can bring unrealistic expectations. Just like the example I gave, you're doing that in your career, your business or whatever. Now you're married, everything just halted, everything stopped. And you're expecting your spouse to provide 24/7 every single thing. You can't even buy a bottle of water. You must call your spouse to bring money. Unrealistic expectations. And again, if care is not taken, this will bring about frustration and resentment. Because the person will be wondering one of the things, and they can't even say, because it will be like they're hurting your feelings just because you're now married to them. Some of them will say to themselves, I married this person because I thought they were going somewhere. They were rising high. They were achieving. They were goal setters, and all of this. And all of a sudden, they're just like this person, just sitting at home, expecting everything from them. This can lead to frustration and resentment if care is not taken. One partner may feel so overwhelmed while the other feels lost. So guys, bring your individuality into that union such that things are balanced. So let's look at the cons of not finding balance, because everything has its advantage and disadvantages. If you can't find balance between your independence and unity in that marriage, misunderstandings will begin to happen. Little misunderstandings, average misunderstanding, big misunderstandings. If you cannot find balance to being yourself as well as being in that union, you find out that, just like I said, unmet expectations, because you can't find balance. Everything must be provided by your spouse. How about? And if they don't meet it, you start disliking them. You start, saying all sorts. Oh, you don't care for me. Oh, you don't love me anymore. And mind you, men will say that, you don't love me anymore. Since we got married, this thing changed. Since we got married, da. Because, a significant aspect of you is just lost. So things will really change, almost immediately. If you can't find balance, control issues. Because now you're married, you're Mrs. Lagbaja, and your husband is married to Mrs. Whatever, and control issues, because you can't do nothing. They have to tell you, stand up, sit down, go there, don't go there. And you're just like that just because you're married. No, it shouldn't be. From time to time, you can ask, my dear, I really want to sit there. What do you think? It's different from, should I sit there? Okay, I'm sitting there. Should I go there? Okay, go. No, it's different. Be your own person. Again, this can bring about lack of fulfillment because you can't find that balance. Maybe once upon a time, it will be like once upon a time, I had this goal. I really wanted to achieve this. But since I got married, it's like I can't even do nothing. I'm just saying, but who is stopping you? Is it your spouse or yourself? And then you don't feel fulfilled all of a sudden. And now you're just sad all the time. You're needy all the time. It's like your spouse, they will go about their business and stuff. You just feel neglected, abandoned, and all of these things, You have to be mindful that you don't lose yourself, like I said, when you eventually go into that union called marriage. And if care is not taken, also, it will bring about emotional burnt out. Because your spouse carrying so much when things are not balanced. Without that balance, marriage becomes either too controlling or too disconnected. So there is no balance in there. Therefore, we need to be mindful. Check your marriage. Is there a balance? Is your spouse their individual self? And it's obvious to both of you. Both of you are your individual self, as well as working in that union, to grow your marriage, to grow your relationship. So I'm going to mention practical ways to maintain balance. So many, so many. And this topic, this number one always comes up almost every week. Communicate openly. Communication, effective communication, however kind of communication, it always comes up every week when we're talking this marriage talk. Discuss needs, discuss boundaries and your expectations regularly, because these things might change as you journey in that relationship. So from time to time, talk about it. From time to time, maybe your husband will always give you 200 pounds, 200 pounds. And then he's like, oh, we've expanded. Honey, I'll be needing 250 from now on, just because your son, our daughter, or whatever, please, it may be hard, but just look into it or something. Communicate openly. Not that is, do they not know we have expanded? You should add this, that. No, communicate openly. Let each other know the reason for whatever. God's grace, good evening. How are you? You're welcome. Boundaries. You're a nursing mother now. You're doing your work, fine. You're back to work and all of that. Set boundaries. Let your spouse know what you need and what you don't need. My dear, you've done this so much. It's okay now, I'm okay. Just let this be. But if you don't say to them, if you don't communicate those boundaries, they would overstep, and they will think they're even doing good. But yet it's becoming irritable to you. So, such expectations should be discussed as regularly as possible, like I said, as you journey on in the marriage. Again, another practical way to maintain balance of you being your individual self as well as functioning in that union, respect individual space. Some will say, there should not be anything like that between husband and wife, and go into that marriage. Let it teach you. It will teach you, trust me. Allow time for personal interests and growth. I remembered, even now I see the message on my WhatsApp. There's a group of ladies I worked with for almost a decade. So we have our WhatsApp group. We call each other sisters for life. They're not from my tribe. They're not from my whatever, but we just grown, to knowing one another. And we are beyond sisters even. We call ourselves blood sister or whatever we call ourselves. We don't look nothing alike. But I've left the company now for how many years? The other have left. One is still there. And I think 2 are still there. There's 4 of us. And they were like, is summer coming up? When are we meeting up? And all of that. So imagine 4 ladies go out. Would I now drag my husband by force, by fire? You must come with me to this ladies' outing. Wouldn't that be just silly? And he knows, even sometimes you will tease, are you not going out with your girls again? And the thing is, when one cancels, we just feel, no, let's leave it until everybody can come and all of that. He too will be following up, so are you guys not going? I say, I don't mind them, or He knows, he won't say, I must insist, I must come with you girls. In fact, sometimes I say, well, I'm inviting you, can come, provided you wear skirt and come along, and then we'll laugh and all of that. Respect individual space. The fact that you're one does not mean you can't breathe. You cannot go to the supermarket without your spouse being there. You cannot go out with your girlfriends without your spouse being there and all of that. No, you don't want to become a thorn in the flesh. And this is where I'm coming from in terms of, in building or respecting that individual space. Again, build shared experiences, because you will have time to build together as well. So don't mix those timings together. When your husband has to go out with his boys or whatever, let them go. Only you as a woman cannot go there and say, because we are married, I must be here. How about now? Please, boundaries. Those are the boundaries we're talking about. So, build shared experiences together, meaning spend intentional time together to strengthen unity. Because in as much as you do your thing, you have your space and all, make sure you're intentionally creating time together with your spouse as well. And if the children are there, there's time for you and your spouse, and there's also time for you, your spouse, and your children. Because all these relationships has to be nurtured in their own way. Otherwise, something will be missing. And then it's going to affect the whole marriage or the family as a whole. So, Spend intentional time together to strengthen that unity. Support each other's goals, guys. This is a way, practical way, honestly, to maintain balance. And I know sometimes it could be a struggle for some spouse, especially when they feel anytime they support their spouse, sometimes, a lot goes on in the mind. You find out that you support your spouse, they're just achieving, and maybe you're struggling. Not that they're not supporting you, but it's not just the same the same achievements that you're experiencing. And if care is not taken, they can withdraw such support, and it's not supposed to be so. So celebrate individuality without competition. Without your time too will come. Maybe you're still sowing the seed and they've sown the seed ages ago. Now they're reaping the reward of the seed sown. But yours, you're just, sowing your seed. You can't expect to reap straight away. So do not be envious of your spouse. Do not be in competition with your spouse because you feel they're just achieving their goals just like that. That is not a mindset to bring into a marriage relationship. And again, set healthy boundaries. Know where I ends and where we begins. And a lot of times, spouses have crossed and overcrossed this, and it's brought about conflicts big time. You mean because I'm married, I cannot pursue this anymore? Because I am married, I have to do what you're doing? Because I'm married, I have to go certain way because you go certain ways? No, guys. There will be conflict, and that's why we need open communication. Speak to your spouse. This is you. This is how you are. These are the things you're trying to achieve as an individual. However, the the things you have to bring on board in this marriage union, and nothing is lacking in that area. Please, you shouldn't even be begging each other to let each other be. This is my career. This is what, even if along the journey of life, you decide to change your career, it has to be your choice. Not that your spouse is saying, you must do this, you must do that. That will bring issues. Because if anything goes wrong in that thing, you will not hear the last of it. Your spouse will not let you be. It's because of you. You said this to me. You asked me to do it. They will not go through it graciously or gracefully. They will always, anything goes wrong, they will blame you for it. And if you're not ready to accept that blame, let them build their life as you're building together. That is the only way they'll be fulfilled, and they'll bring that fulfillment into that marriage relationship. That marriage can also feel fulfilled. So from a faith-based perspective, I'm just going to say this bit. Balance is best achieved when God is at the center. Because look, we're all going into that marriage institution. We're learning on the go, so we don't know it all. But we get stuck from time to time. We may go see a marriage counselor, a couples therapist, or whatever it is. But let's think for a second. Who even created this institution I've entered into? Oh, they say it's God. How can I connect? How can God help me? Go to His Word. Let God be at the center of your marriage. In Ecclesiastes 4:12, it says, a threefold cord is not quickly broken, meaning God strengthens both the individual and the union. I'm rounding up now, guys. I remembered for years and years, I'll just pray for my family, pray for everyone, pray. And one time I was having a quiet time, and I heard the Holy Spirit say to me, "Funmi, pray for yourself." It felt weird. I'm like, isn't that selfish? I want to believe others are praying for me as I'm praying for others. And he said, no, I need you to pray for yourself. And I'm like, how do I pray for what do I pray for? Like I struggled with that because it's not been a thing for me. Pray for myself. How? I want to believe others are praying for me. And I'm like, okay, how do I begin? Okay, think, what are your needs? Say to the Father. And I'm like, but somebody else should be praying that for me. I don't know where I got that from. And I struggled, and with time I had to learn to pray for myself. So God strengthens me as an individual to be strong, to be of sound mind, and I bring that individual into my union together with my husband, strong, sound-minded individual, God helping us. Because sometimes issues of life will come and you're not, yourself, and that's where you carry each other, really. So I'm going to conclude by saying this. Balancing independence and unity in marriage is not automatic. Guys, be graceful to one another. It is not automatic. It is intentional. You balance it intentionally, meaning you're aware where I ends and we begins, and it's not interfering with one another. So it requires awareness. You need to be aware. This is what my spouse does. The fact that they're married now does not mean it's an end. There should be an end to what they're doing. No. Communication. It requires communication to bring about this balance we're talking about. I've said this a million times, and it's not just communication, effective communication, open communication. It requires patience, because sometimes you think you know your spouse, this is what they're doing, and then you're married, bam, ideas start coming to the head. They want to pursue this, they want to pursue that, and you just feel left out, or you feel they're progressing, you're not, and they're just going and you're not. Because sometimes there's so many blessings attached to being married, and if you want to know that, go get married. You will find out. And like I said, it requires patience, and commitment. You can't say because you're standing as an individual now, you're not committed to that union. It's going to suffer. Things will be lacking in there, because you're being independent as a person that you've brought on board into that union should make that union stronger. Increase grace, dear woman of God. Amen. I don't know if that's a prayer, prayer for one, strengthen your spirit. I know, but it was hard. I'm like, why? How? Pray for me? I'm supposed to be praying for others, but I got there eventually. And I understood anyways. So, a healthy marriage says, I am whole on my own. I am whole on my own, but we are stronger together. We need to have that understanding so we can put in the patience, the communication, the connection, the emotional connection, and all of these things in the right order, so to say. I am whole on my own, but we are stronger together. Bible says 1 will chase 1,000, and 2 in their 1,000, 10,000s. So imagine 1 is chasing 1,000. 1,000 is a lot, but imagine what 2 can do together. And this is the word of God as well. So let us strive to build marriages where individuality is respected, unity is nurtured, and for both partners to thrive. Because that's how you will thrive, and you will not feel resentful because they are doing what they love to do, but you're just stuck here, and all of those kind of talks. My final thought to us as I close is, marriage is not about losing yourself. It is about bringing your best self into a shared life. I'll say that again. Marriage is not about losing yourself. It is about bringing your best self into a shared life. Guys, that is the end of my talk. However, 2 questions for us to tackle. I struggled a bit, but I'm like, let's break it into 2, and probably you can attempt any one that you feel most comfortable with anyways. So the first question is, are people meant to lose their individual self in marriage? Are people meant to lose their individual self in marriage? And second question is, can 2 individuals really unite without losing themselves in a marriage relationship? Can they truly unite without losing themselves in a marriage relationship? Guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you, A13. Thank you. Bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise. Thank you, Leslie. So, guys, that is the end of my own talk. I mean, I could expand it more. Even as I was talking, certain things was coming to mind, but we'll leave it there and let's, have a discussion, talk about this. Thank you, Elder Kenneth. Thank you so much. So, number 2 question is, can two individuals, it's a bit long, can two individuals really unite without losing themselves in a marriage relationship? Some may say, oh, it's sacrifice or whatever. I don't know what it is. But that's why I need you guys. Let us talk more about this because it's affecting individuals. They're beginning to go their separate ways. Some are even getting divorced because maybe one's individuality is not being appreciated or accepted even. The other person wants to dominate who they become, how they're living life, and all of that. And they can only do that for so long because God has created you a unique individual. The fact that you're married does not mean that's the end of you, so to say. So let us talk more about this because it's very important. Like I said, are people meant to lose their individual self in marriage? And secondly, can two individuals really can they unite without losing themselves in a marriage relationship? So guys, send me an invite. Let us talk more about this. Thank you, A13. Thank you guys for liking the live. Let's talk more about this. Oh, this thing I've changed. Send me that invite. Let's talk more. Because sometimes you find out that there are bitter people out there just because of this topic we're talking about. Good evening, Leslie. Good evening. Happy Thursday. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Shan, for joining. Elder Kenneth, please send me invite if I have not sent you one. If you want to be part of this talk today, let us expand it some more, especially if you're married. These are things you need to start talking about. Ask your partner when you're dating, courting, and when your family is beginning to know their family. And then, ask them, so if I get married now, is that the end of my career? When I get married now, can I have new goals and new ideas? Are you going to welcome that? All these things you need to talk about. I mean, some people go through premarital counseling. I don't know if they even get here to this kind of talks when they're going through their premarital counseling, or is until when they get into the marriage, they start discovering that, oh my goodness, we didn't think about this, and if care is not taken, if it's not handled well, it can bring some sort of separation in that relationship. So let's talk about it now. Let's look at it critically, really. Leslie, good evening. Thanks for joining. Your number one in the box today.
Good evening.
Good evening. I hope your week has been good so far.
We thank God. It's good. It's challenging, but it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
Thank you. It's good.
thank God. I think the challenges keeps us going too as well.
Yeah, yeah. As I'm always reminded that that is where we grow.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's rough and tough, but by
Yeah.
God's grace, we're
Uh,
still standing, innit?
yeah.
Yeah, good to
But
have you.
when you decide to lock into something and say, okay, it's time to give this what it deserves. Yeah. Okay. It's not as easy as it looks, but yes, you
I
do
know.
it.
Yes. Sometimes we don't know the strength we have in us until some situation arises. You find out that, wow, I didn't think I could go
Yes.
through that.
Yes.
So yeah, we've got
Yes.
it in us. Yeah, by the grace of God, we've got it in us.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I don't know which question you want to attempt. It sounds similar somewhat, but it's different because we're talking about individual self and the united couple, so to say.
Again, I think I've mentioned this in the early days that a good marriage is not an easy one, and we all know that anything good
Yeah.
takes time and effort. And I think a lot of people want to play it down, but the fact of the matter is that having a good marriage is a lot of work. Um, yeah, some people might make it look easy, but if you go behind the closed doors, somebody's putting a lot of work,
Yeah.
a lot of work. And I brought the term here. I thought you might know the word uxorious. The thing is that there are certain, and I noticed this in the 90s, but it seems like a lot. There are some people who are really taking it quite a lot seriously now. There are certain men that I've found, even in my own life, that really like their wives. Like really, they really like their wives. They don't see their marriage as a bondage or a problem. They are, in fact, if they had a choice, they just want to be with the wife every single day. I know someone like that in real
Isn't
life.
that obsession?
I don't know if it's obsessive. I mean, I don't know, but they really do. And that's not how it started. That's the thing that I find surprising. That was not how it started. In fact,
Oh.
in the beginning, some of them were fighting. But at some point, I think it's like anything. When you discover something and you start to see for what it really is and the worth and value, you just lock in. And I remember meeting a guy. I went to I went to someone's wedding. This was like maybe in the early 2000s. It was a church function. They had a very big hall, and I remember the guy who was in charge of the hall. That time he said he had been married 15 years, and his wife was there as well.
Oh.
So he was like, and then he was like, he was telling me I really like my wife, like she didn't have to be here, but I asked her to be here just to hang out with me. And I thought, wow, it means there are guys that like to hang out with their wife. And then she now interjected and said he does do his own thing. It's just that if he can get the opportunity, he will bring me on board as well.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's not that they lose their individuality. I think certain people get to a point where they do dote on their spouses, both male and female. They do dote on their spouses, and a lot of people might see that as strange, but that happens. That really does happen. And I think somebody crosses a certain threshold, or there's something that brings them together. In their situation, I think one of them fell sick,
Oh.
and that sickness brought them very close. Some people, that same sickness will bring them apart too.
Yeah.
So it's not set in stone kind of rule, but that's the way it is. The people that my wife and I we did our premarital marriage counseling with in HCB, the guys who funded that course, the wife at the time they've been married 40 something plus years. She has always been in that thing for 20 years with her husband. She has not missed one. It's not because the husband wants her to be there. It's because she says that she would rather be with him than anywhere else. So it's not because they've lost the individuality. I think they get to a point where they found a oneness. Of course, the
Even
husband
in
does his
that.
own thing. The wife does her own thing, but you get to a point. Certain people want to be with their spouses, and I know some people just find that strange, because they just want their independence all the time. But I think the older you get, and do you start to recognize the value of companionship.
Yeah.
On the other side, I've seen somebody who has been divorced for well over 25 years now, and he has not gotten over that divorce, and he has refused to marry. And I often jest with him that if it's me, I'll remarry though. But this is not to me.
25
Me,
years. That's a long
I would
time.
have remarried. In fact, within 2-3 years, I will start. That's just me. That's just me. But him, that was it for him. And I'm like, he's a man. This is not a woman. Because, like my dad, as soon as I divorced my mother, in fact, he has not even finished divorcing. He has already found somebody. They are
My
living
God, it
together.
doesn't waste time, does he?
He did not. I think I got it. He has not even. He has not even finished divorcing my mother. He has already got somebody locked in.
Wow.
That's just him. So people are different. But in answer to the question, I don't think people. When you get married, I think it's an individual thing where people can still maintain their individuality, and it's a good thing because it's part of the mystery of who you are. You don't want to get to a point where you don't know who you are as a human being in a marriage. That's not the purpose of marriage. It's not for you to lose who you are in a marriage. It is actually for you to become who you are while being interconnected with somebody else. Even if you look at the Trinity, as much as they are one, they still do very different functions. They still do God the Father is on the throne 24/7. But Jesus walk and live on the earth. Holy Spirit is everywhere. Everywhere. Holy Spirit is always moving. So even though the three they are one, they are completely one, yet they do manifest and do different things. So the individuality actually helps the marriage. And it's being individual is not supposed to harm the marriage. Actually, it's supposed to enhance the marriage. So what I mean is that you should still have your own personal vision, your own personal goal, because all those things they're actually going to benefit the marriage. And I think something I've noticed, being a parent of two sons, I noticed that because they can see that, even though they know that we're close, they also see that mom travels, does her own thing, dad does this. In fact, it's only recently my second son found out that I actually do science stuff. He didn't know that until very recently. And
Wow.
he was shocked. He's like, Dad, you mean you know? I said, yeah, but only when I want to write and make money.
Providence, I see you. Emma, I see you.
So it does help and enhance the relationship. So it shouldn't, you're not meant to lose who you are because you're married. And I think sometimes it's some cultures that almost becomes a thing where they just lose themselves, and it's not healthy. I don't think it's healthy at all. Because when something happens like that, when one of them passes away, especially I've seen it in Nigeria where the man did everything and the woman was just housewife, and it was wonderful. But as soon as the husband passed away, she didn't have a clue about bank accounts, monies, all those things, access to certain things, because she just let the husband do everything, and it was really tough. So you're not meant to just not know what is happening. At least be clued on. Um, be clued on. One of the things that we need is maybe like 10 years in that mind. A money manager, we're doing for a course, and the person was saying that even if you're not the one making the money, learn how to manage money. People think managing money is an easy skill. It is not. Managing money, writing your accounts down, your debit, your credits, managing your investments, all those things, it's work. And one spouse needs to be good at doing that, like really good, because making money is one skill. Another part of it is managing money, and that's it's not a skill that most people have, and you can learn it. So again, marriage is not meant to make you lose your individuality. It is not. There are two whole people coming together to become one, and that oneness is still going to bring diversity. It's still going to do things in the marriage, because that's how you bring diversity even to your children. Seeing how male and female work together, and just that synergy, you know. So I don't think marriage will erase your individuality unless there's an abuse going on, or the person, maybe from their upbringing, is just becoming so dependent. They have not learned to do certain things for themselves, or find who they are, learn to manage themselves, you know. Some people marry early because they feel, I need to just be dependent on somebody quickly. Not that is a bad thing, no. If you can marry early, and I don't mean like in your teens, but like in your early 20s, and you have the wisdom, you've gained some experience, and you got good family upbringing, that helps too. But it is important to know who you are as an individual. It's very important, because you're going into marriage, you're meant to be a whole person, not a person that doesn't know who they are or what their dreams are. I think I'll finish it. I don't know what the second question. Let me see
So,
what the second
so
question was.
I understand all you have said now. So that now is leading us to the second question. Like, really, truly, truly, can two really unite without losing themselves in that marriage? Is it possible?
Yeah, well, losing them. Okay, I'll take a scripture, and I'm gonna say it like how it sounds, but what it really means. So Jesus Christ said, "Unless a seed falls to the ground and dies, it will not be able to produce life. As in, it will not be able to." So yeah, there's an essence of you losing yourself. There is an essence of you having to. In fact, I think in marriage, there's an essence of it where you have to die to yourself. And I don't mean self as in your whole self. I think
Yeah,
it
being
means more of
individual.
the self that can be selfish, the self that can doesn't understand the power of unity. Unity is not sameness, and I think the scripture does never ever qualifies unity as sameness. Oneness and sameness are two different things. To be one means that we've come to a place of agreement. We've arrived at a place of agreement, and that takes time and effort. That's sameness means somebody's manipulating somebody to think like me, be like me. I don't want my wife to think and be like me. That's not the goal. Or else I can marry myself. The goal is for us to the goal for us is to become one. As in, we are arriving at decision making that we can agree to do certain things and disagree to hold back and still maintain peace and unity. So I think that's the part of where we have to die to ourselves in a marriage. Yes, there is a part that you will have to die to yourself, but if we go by the biblical standard of a seed falling to the ground to die, that seed is actually dying so it can produce fruit. It's the same thing. So it's so that you become fruitful. You actually grow. So something has to die. Sometimes one of you might have to step back for somebody else in that same marriage to maybe establish themselves in their careers or in their business or whatever it may be that you've arrived at an agreement and you might have to hold back. That's happening in our marriage. And again, there's a season that will demand for it. You'll probably begin to tell that, okay, right now, my wife is going to be the person, her career is strongest at this point in time, and this is going to help. But in doing that, I'm serving by making sure that the school run is done, homework is done. I'm also maintaining income, to a certain extent, but might not be as massive or as big as I was doing before for that season. And it's very important to recognize that. It's very, very important to recognize how that works. I have numerous examples. There's two I can speak of right now. One, it's one I went to his 75th birthday just recently, 75th birthday. When he's a naval officer in Nigeria. So this is a Nigerian man. He's not a westernized person. He's a Nigerian person. He's a Christian. He came to England and he had retired as a naval officer. When he came to England, he couldn't work for the first few years because he had to get his settlement visa and everything. And this man would do laundry, dishes, take all the 5 children to do school run. And I saw that, and I was like, this guy is a naval officer. And I know how Nigerians can be sometimes, especially men, they can be quite proud. And this man served the family, served his wife. She was a nurse, NHS nurse. So she was doing night shift. In fact, he would even come and he would make sure that she didn't cook. So all she would do is probably help the children with the homework. He was doing all of that. I saw this happen. Today, this man today now has got PhD. Not only has he got a PhD, one of his children, she worked in the air. She worked for Delta Airlines or Virgin Airlines, one of them. He traveled first class all over the world. So it was a season then that if someone saw him, look at this man, a grown man like him, naval officer, what is he doing? Doing all his own work, housework. But today, is the one that is now taking care of the family today now. Today now. I was in 75th birthday. I mean the whole, at least I think we were up to 500 that came to this man's birthday. That's an honor that I saw this in real time. So in that season, it will look like he's giving up a lot. But it was a season. It's not forever. I guess a lot of this is not forever. And now today it's on another side. In fact, when I went to the church when they were doing his birthday, they were launching his third book at the time.
Wow.
So these things happen in seasons. But if you don't know the time and season you're in, you can be frustrated though, and you won't recognize it. I also know somebody who they were music artists. They were actually doing well. When they married their husband, the woman said she would give up music, let her husband career take off, and just raise the children, did everything. For 10 years, she did not record nothing.
Wow.
On the 11th year, the husband called her to come and do an album with him. And that's been one of his top albums. So, in fact, they made a movie from the guy. So, there's going to be a season where, yes, it will look like you are losing yourself. But truly, you are losing to gain.
Yeah.
Now, if you are losing so you don't know who you are, then there's that's something else. So God's not telling you to lose yourself that you don't know who you are. That's not what He's talking about. But you lose yourself as in you are investing and you are sowing because you know this is this person's time and season,
Yeah.
and it's best for the family. Your time and season will come where they too, by the grace of God, will also allow you. And even in that time and season, they will not have the means and the resources to actually help you much more than you would have done on your own.
Yeah.
So I think you just have to take the balance. But yes, they may it may look like you are losing yourself. It may look like you're dying to yourself, but it really is you are sowing to reap a reward that between you and God, when that season comes, you will know. So that's all I can say on that situation.
Thank you. In fact, well said. Thank you so much.
I hope it helps us here. Thank you.
It does. Thank you. That's why I say I'm here to learn. As you were talking, a lot was just going on in my mind and casting my mind back to many, many years as well. Like you said, rightly said, I have experienced what you have narrated just about now, because then it got to a time I almost wanted to forget myself, so to say. And it's like something in me just kind of, it was like an awakening, like, okay, you said to yourself, you really want to be there for your children because nobody was there as such for you growing up and all of that. Okay, being there, done that, what next? Or is that all that will be? So there had to be a reawakening, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to God where I am at, because this is my own personal testimony in a way you have shared. So we need to understand these things. It's seasonal, it's sacrificial. Yeah, you may lose a bit of yourself, like Leslie said. However, that should not be the end of you as an individual in that union. So thank you. Well said, Leslie. Thank you so much. Shan, good evening. We're going to bring the single but, in a relationship and go to it now. Shan, how are you? Good evening. Are you
Good
there?
evening. I'm fine. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Happy Thursday to you. Mm.
Happy Thursday. Last time, I don't know what happened. I just blacked out while on live.
It's all right. No wonder I was trying to bring it back. It was going back and forth. I wouldn't even think it was because of that, but it's all good. Body not be firewood, as
Yeah,
my people will say. Yeah, we get tired, I know. But it's good to have you back. I hope
yeah.
you're not feeling sleepy now, though.
No. I'm very alert tonight.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know how much of the talk you heard, but we're talking about balancing independence and unity. And of course, like, in my talk, I mentioned if you're planning to get married, these are things you really need to be talking about. Some are there now, they're not they're not married yet. They're still courting and they're beginning to discover this aspect of their relationship and moving forward into a marriage relationship, what it might be like. So it's always good to talk about these things and prepare one another. So are people meant to lose their individual self in marriage? Let's start with that, Shan.
I think just like Leslie mentioned,
Mm,
no, people are not meant to really lose themselves, if I can say, their individual selves in marriage.
okay.
Okay, the fact that I think we all know that people say when two become one, like two distinct people becoming one.
Yeah.
Someone might interpret that if there is only one person, that means you share everything like one person. Let me say you merge your values, you merge everything to become one, and you
13,
share
15.
that one value. Like all of you share the one value, interest, and all that and all that. But I think just that is just in theory, the two become one. Partly theory, because in practice it can never be 100%. But again, it does not mean that you cannot be yourself while in marriage. I will not talk much from the point of marriage, but I think people would lose themselves. Actually, one time I had a conversation when I used to go live. I had a hot conversation with some of the young people on compromise, and a lot of men, as usual, were in
Susan said
support of
she's struggling.
compromise.
She's struggling to hear you, but I can hear her clearly though. Do you want to increase the volume, Shan, please?
Oh, can you hear me now? Is it
I
better
can
now?
hear you, but Susan, I don't know. She says she's struggling to hear you. Maybe
I don't
Susan
know.
needs to increase the volume over there, Susan.
Oh yeah, I think so. Maybe she has to.
Okay.
So, I think even compromise doesn't really mean I should just drop myself like who I am for someone. And when it comes to compromise, there has to be both. I will not say that okay, I am going to lose this part of myself for him. It means that he or she has to also not like lose, but just like an understanding, like how far, at what level, at what percentage should I compromise this, and what percentage should you. So I think when it comes to interdependence in marriage, it has to be some sort of two people coming together to support each other. You might be having like different, let me say, even career goals in life as married people. But then I have had this a lot, not even had, but experienced in my village, to the point that you find a woman foregoing her career because she has to stay home to take care of the children. So to me, that one, you're losing yourself 100%. I even ask myself, you went to school, you took a lot of time, and then now that because you're married, you have to just stay home. Probably the man will say, okay, I'm going to set a business for you. What if a business is not actually actually experienced this? I was conversing with some guy 2 months ago. He was trying to express himself, you know how men come, like he wants to start a relationship with you. But I had conversation with him. But then most of his conversations were on my career. He tells me, ask him, what kind of woman do you want? And then he says he wants a woman who is going to support him in business and all that and all that. But his conversation was pointing towards a woman who is 100% business oriented. But then I am one person that, okay, besides business, I want to practice my career. I cannot go to school for all this time and then I don't get a job and practice what I studied. Yes, business is there, but that doesn't mean I'm going to just be there around and we make money through business. What if I want to make money also through a career? So in that instance, okay, I might get married to the person and say that, okay, I'm going to do business. But that is not who I am. That is not what my heart is at for life. So I might even get married to her, then get into business, but still I'll feel unsatisfied, you know. So I think that would be like full compromise, but when you've lost yourself and what you want in life. So and again, when it comes to marriage, I don't know much about marriage, but when it comes to dating, we have ever talked here about people really getting to understand what they each want in a relationship. I mean, in marriage, even relationship, what you want. You might get into a relationship, but you don't even know what you want, like who you are. And then you get into a marriage with someone or relationship with someone, you don't even know who the other person is, what the other person wants. And then you get into a serious relationship, you're going to keep knocking each other and be like, okay, I don't want this. This is not what I want. And then at one point, actually, this happens a lot with women. Most of them are born to lose who they are because they fear to lose relationship. It also happened to me one time. You find yourself tolerating a lot of things. We think it is compromise, but we're just tolerating. We're not actually compromising. You're tolerating, and then you tolerate for a short while because I think tolerance is not long-lived. Maybe compromise, kind of, because you kind of agree and put yourself to it. You tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do with this. I'm going to do without this. But tolerance is very short-lived. You tolerate, you keep losing yourself, but then you reach a point you can't hold on. And then you drop it. And then you find yourself breaking away from the relationship or marriage because probably you thought you could tolerate something, but that's not who you are. You cannot do that. For an example of cheating, you can be someone who is a no cheating person. But then you tell yourself, okay, let me just give him one last chance, maybe one chance. Then he does it again. Second time, he does it again. But you know yourself that you do not tolerate cheating. But you think giving a chance is going to, change somebody, going to change the entire situation, but it doesn't. And again, due to fear of losing the person, then tell yourself, okay, I think I've already gotten into this of forgiving. Let me just forgive him. But then you lose yourself. You're not enjoying the marriage because that's not who you are. So I think the essence of losing self in a marriage is because first we don't understand who we are and the person we're involving ourselves with. And then secondly, people have misinterpreted what tolerance and compromise is, of which is two different things. Tolerance is short-lived, but also compromise, if you're not careful, it might become a character of a person and a newly developed value that probably you might not even keep up with because that's a value that is not applying to you. So a value that you've just developed along the way because you're married or because you're in a relationship, it won't be sustained. So in that process, you're going to lose yourself. But maybe if I'm to say for one not to lose themselves, just try to like be yourself in the relationship. And again, when it comes to us women, at times we want to impress a lot. I think even men, we want to impress. We don't want to show who we are exactly at an initial stage of a relationship. And then when it comes to that serious part of a relationship, we start bringing who we are truly. And at that point, if you who you are is different from who the other person is, what you want is different from what the other partner is, you're going to clash. Because at that level of relationship, you feel like you've gotten what you want already. So there's no longer pretense. There's nothing like, hiding yourself. So how are you going to now start again clashing when you're ready into a settled kind of relationship or marriage? So I think people should really first, at the initial stage, get to know who they are and be real to themselves. Tell the person that, okay, this is who I am. Exactly. I'm not showing off. I'm not hiding anything. Can you do this? Can you go with me? Can you manage this? If you can't, what can we do? How can we make sure that we're compromising each other? At what percentage? For example, if maybe you're dating a guy who likes drinking, coming back home late, if you want to compromise, doesn't mean you have to compromise 100%, that giving him that freedom of coming back anytime you want. You can tell him, okay, if you want to drink 2 times in a month, these are the days you're going to drink. If you want to drink every day, I don't tolerate that. You can drink at least 2 or 3 times in a week or in a month.
I wish it works
Yes,
that
yes.
way, Shan.
I know, but it's hard. I'm just I am wishing. I know it's hard.
Oh.
I
Okay.
yeah, I'm just thinking and wishing, but yeah, I understand it is hard. It is hard. People are born to lose themselves if especially there's nothing like partnership, but also care for each other's values and needs. I think for people to just not lose themselves in relationship is partner. Make sure that you take accountability of each other's needs and values, not only looking at yours, like fronting only yours, but also trying to say that, okay, even if this person doing this for me, let me also do what he or she likes somehow to some percentage, so that we try to compromise each other's needs and what each other is about. Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, thank you, Shan, for your contribution. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. This one is true life of a man who decided to marry this woman. She worked in, I think she worked at the airport at the time, or she was a hostess or whatever. And when he decided to marry, she said yes and all of that. He wrote a resignation letter on her behalf, took her uniform, and went to her office and dumped it. My wife is no longer coming back here. She's no longer working. And that was the end of her working, And then she was in that marriage till I think maybe 14, 15 years or thereabout. And life happened and all of that. And then, they went their separate ways. and she now had to go back and dusted her CV to start all over again, kind of, And sometimes it could be like that. And this is why we're talking about these things. I mean, I know life has evolved or life is evolving and all of that, but you still find that certain individuals, they go into marriage and these things are not really as such talked about beforehand. And then once they're married, they just feel now you are my wife, especially in that case, you're my wife. I don't want you to work. And they will drag this thing, will almost break a new marriage up even because the man is insisting I don't want to marry a woman that is working or whatever. And that's what I always say before you say I do, make sure that certain conversations have been had. Otherwise, when you enter marriage, these things will creep up on you. Whether sooner or later, it will happen, it will come. And then you don't even have the answers because you haven't thought about it. So we really need to be mindful. So that's why there's a lot of early divorce 2 years into my. I know it's crazy. How can you come and meet me, a working class person, because I'm married now? In fact, I think there was one again. There was another case scenario. They didn't talk about these things at all. And they got married. And then the wife, say for example, she's Gloria Smith. And she now married Mr. Anthony. So she put on her documents Gloria Smith Anthony, with that hyphen. And the man said, no, you have to take my name. But they didn't talk about these things before marriage. And the woman is saying, no, she has a right to still carry her surname as well as the husband's name. This thing became an issue. And that was when in the marriage, they're not talking about it, having issues. And the woman even dare say, so you're telling me if we have children, they're not going to bear that as Anthony, whatever, Smith Anthony or whatever. And the man said, hey, no way. They're going to bear his name fully, Anthony. And it became an issue. As simple as that sounds, really, it became a big issue. And the man said, well, you can do that. No, his children, never would he allow that. And the woman kept wondering, are you still in the 60s or something? Why is that? So you can imagine there's certain things you may not think about, and that's why I say insight is good for you. If you're planning your marriage, there are certain talks, conversation you must have before you dive into it. Because the moment you say, I do, your I do is meant to be for life. God helping both of you. God helping both of you. Because you're going into that institution, you have your certificate already. Whoever gave you that certificate is trusting you that you're knowledgeable enough. Meaning, whatever that school brings your way, you're going to pass it. But you and I know that not all the time do we pass this. But God will continue to help us. Thank you so much, Shan. Elder Kenneth, I'm going to come to the book of Elders now. We want to open that book of Elders. Please come and enlighten us. Are people meant to lose their individual self once they get married? Let's start with that as well. Good evening.
Good evening, host. Good evening, everyone on board and those in the comment section. After our discussion on Monday, on Tuesday, I have to call my GP and say I want to know my mental health case because it's 2020.
Yay!
I haven't called my GP and GP have not called me. So this is 2026 now, almost 6 years. I have to call them that I want to do. But it is well.
That is good. We're encouraged by that. Thank you, sir. Well done to you.
Okay. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Don't get it twisted. But the problem, before we go into I do, you must discuss, you must talk, you must understand the person you are dealing with. Like me, I don't hide my home to the whole wide world. Before I get into marriage, I was a chain smoker and I was a humanizer. But glory be to God, I don't do those things anymore.
Hallelujah.
So my wife know all these things, but she believed that she's there to change me, and I am there to as well to change her in a certain way as well. So at times you might go into marriage hoping that person you can change that person or you can add value to that person, but at times it might not work. That is why you must know and you must agree before you say I do. The Bible says, can two walk together except they be in agreement? That agreement must take place. You see, this 1 year marriage, 6 months marriage, there is divorce. It's because they did not understand the concept of marriage. Concept of marriage is not a relationship. Every day in marriage we learn, and we learn new things every day, and the maturity come into it every day in marriage. The way we speak 20 years ago, the way we address issue 20 years ago, not the way we address issue now. Because why? Maturity, wisdom, and understanding has already come in. So it might lose some certain things when you get into marriage. It might add value to you as well when you get into marriage. It can make you depressed at times when you get into marriage because not what you expect you begin to
What you're
see.
experiencing,
Yeah, because some people just feel it's all about love. It's all about love. When they come to
What's
marriage,
love got to do?
love
Got to
love
do
is
with
not
this?
enough. When they come
Not.
to marriage, love is not enough. We must know that love is not enough when they come to marriage. Don't say, you are my darling, my sweetie. When they come to marriage, it take the grace of God. The person you say you are my darling, when you do some kind of things, you will look at it. You say, did you sure that I marry you, or you are the one that they was sent, or you are Eve sister? You begin to question yourself.
Oh
Are
my
you not? Are you
goodness.
not the Eve? Are you not the Eve? Or are you not the Adam the Bible is talking about? So these are the things that you can see in marriage. But by the help of the Lord and by the institution that God has given us, that marriage is a good thing, we will try to build it. Even it's not going well at first, but try, patient. But these days, people don't have that patience anymore. They lose it. Mostly this young generation, they lose it. It's not there anymore. Because I know when I first got married, it's not how far, it's how well. Because the things that you are expecting is not the things that you are seeing, in the sense that now, for one, you become two. For two, you become three. And at times, this is not what you agree. Because some people will say, I want to give birth to two or three or four. But God can do it. It can be twins, it can be triplets. They can just come like that. But this is not your original plan. But how are you going to do it? You're going to accept it. That's where acceptance comes. You're going to accept it first. Then begin to ask God for direction of what to do next. In marriage, there are sometimes where what you were expecting, you don't see it, but you come together as one to address it. When you come together as one to address it, the other party might say no. It might say no, but that does not make you, because it disagree, to feel that you have the authority or you have the monopoly over that person. But you still keep talking. This might be help to us. There was a time, I will bring this in. When we were in Italy, there was this degree program, diploma program that Italian government have to bring to every couple that did not graduate, so that they can become something in life. I and my wife were able to start it. So as time goes on, we have kids. Giving the kid to somebody and be going to school at 6 o'clock to 10:30 in the evening is affecting I and my wife. So we decided to see who is going. Let one person step down and let one person continue, so that one will be looking the kids. I said, okay, my wife, you continue. He said, no, you are the man of the house. I said, no, you continue. But at the end, he said, no, you continue. If I tell you today, that degree is one of the degree that I can use anywhere in the world now. Because why? Somebody decided to step down for me. But when it come to two people that they are not in agreement, the two of them will say, no, you are pursuing your own race, I'm pursuing my own race. At the end of the day, the two of you, you're going to lose it. And when you lose it, you begin to blame each other. That is because of you, I did not graduate. It's because of you, I did not. So, by so doing, misunderstanding creep in. And when misunderstanding creep in, you see hatred, all sorts of words. You are the bad woman. You are the bad man. It's because of you I'm not moving forward. Why did I know you? How did you come to my way? All those thoughts start coming in because there is nothing like agreement. That is why in marriage, for me, I believe that agreement is the most powerful thing, that two of you must sit yourself down. This one is not after the counseling, after everything, sit yourself down. How do you want it? Even though you want to write it down in paper, so that when time comes, if one is not doing the right thing, you go back to that paper. This is not what we write down. No. This is what the two of us agree on. At times, once in a while, review it. Is this working or is this not working? That is what I believe. But not everybody believe. So that is what can work for you and what can work for your own cannot work for my own. Because God created it in a different way. But all the purpose is for one purpose, for us to become a good man and a good woman to the glory of the Lord, so that when people see us, they want to imitate and they want to believe that, yes, these are couples that fear God. Those are the things that I believe in marriage.
Okay.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Hey, you see, the book of Elders, when he brings those personal experiences, he just drives it home just to let you know, sometimes you compromise, sometimes you tolerate in love, compromise in love, you tolerate in love, patience in love. It would come from time to time, to be honest with you, and these things must be agreed. It has to be agreed such that it doesn't bring, like he said, misunderstandings later, or blame or shame or whatever it is. And I mean, there's more than enough room for both husband and wife to grow. However, how are you growing? Are you growing and you don't want your spouse to grow? I use that because I'm mindful. Is the husband growing, doesn't want the wife to grow? Is the wife growing, doesn't want the husband to grow? Because these things, we're not gender biased here tonight, because it can happen either way. Somebody's losing themselves and the other is gaining and is not bothered about the person losing themselves. And sometimes it could be seasonal. This time you just have to lose yourself for this season, and then you reap that later on. So all of these dynamics we need to understand, especially before we go into that marriage, to a level at least. Because when you go into that marriage, you think you even understand, life or marriage will throw at you a deeper one that will shake you. And this is school of learning. You never stop learning in a marriage institution. Trust me with that. You never ever stop learning. Maybe that's why some people feel, I don't want to learn anymore. It's enough. I want to go my separate way. You want to go your separate way. Some people will divorce and remarry. They find out that the same thing is still happening again. Some, I've heard of somebody, they're now with a third spouse and they're beginning to experience the same. So something is wrong with you then, and you need to fix that. Otherwise, you keep taking it into these relationships and the same thing keeps happening. Don't lose yourself. Know yourself. Because sometimes you don't know yourself. You just want to mirror your spouse all the time. And they're not perfect either. They're still work in progress. And then you're becoming resentful. And then before you know, it's like, I can't do this anymore. We need to be mindful. Leslie say some parents even blame their children for bad things in their life. Yeah. Some will even say, since I've had you, this child, and the child is old enough to understand these things. Since I've had you, I've known no peace. Hey, why would you say that? They didn't beg you to have them. You decided to bring them into this world. Anyway, that's another topic for another day, but it still goes to this not losing oneself, as well. How can you then train your children in that way? Because you yourself, you're feeling worthless the moment you get married. What are you going to be passing to your children? What are you going to be fortifying them with? Is it that you're not perfect, or you groom your girls in a certain way, you groom your boys in a certain way, and all of these imbalances is going to affect them in the future. Thank you, Elder Kenneth, for sharing that with us. I'm going to come to Pastor Maria. Good evening, and everyone in the box, thank you so much for your patience. Hopefully, we won't stay too long tonight, but we don't know. Let's see how we go. Pastor Maria, good evening. Happy Thursday to you.
Good evening,
How are
woman of
you?
God. Happy Thursday to you and everyone. Thank
Thank
you
you. Ebony,
for
good evening. Yeah.
the opportunity. It's a beautiful topic. I was actually going live before I saw this, and I paused.
Oh,
And
wow. Good to have you here.
and because I'm really passionate about marriage, I do a lot of programs on marriages and stuff like that. So it's my kind of
Have
my
you been in
soft
the box
spot.
before, Pastor Maria? Or is this your first time?
No,
You've
it's not my
been
first time.
okay, because I mean, the name rings a bell, really, but it's been a while though.
Yes, it is indeed.
It's good to have you back. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you for the opportunity. I'm not going to be long
It's all
because
right.
of
I do
the.
understand. Thank you. Yeah.
I actually went away and came back and said, you know what, I'm really interested in this topic.
Okay.
I think I've treated something like this in the past and so many other topics, and
Okay.
yeah, marriage is meant to be a partnership. Going back to your question, was it Leslie that talked, and where you spoke earlier talking about the fact that you can't lose yourself because you're marriage, and there's sacrifice. For marriage to work, you have to have the mind of coming into the marriage um as part you because well the definition of marriage, because God is the foundation and two has become one, so you're one. But marriage is meant to be a partnership of two O's. That's two
Ah.
O's. Because in God's definition of in God's mathematics, two become one, and is the only one that have that answer, that two becomes one. So it's two whole people becoming
Pastor
one.
Maria, let me just add this to what you've just said. You know, this common saying that when you're referring to your spouse, especially if the man is referring to the wife, or even either way, they say, my better half. I can't
No,
stand that. I said, I didn't
no,
marry half a person, my
no.
better whole, or I don't even go into that space at all.
Okay, yeah. Yes,
Honestly.
so it's two all become one. So not the merging of two halves into a block.
No, no.
So it's two all become one. And if we have that at the back of our mind, then we know that we are complete.
Yeah.
Each and every individual in the marriage is complete. You're not half, just like you said earlier. So we're bringing our completeness into that relationship for it to work. And there are sacrifices to be made. There are some things that you need to stop doing. You can't bring your whole self into this new wholeness.
Yeah.
Because some people, they want to remain the way they are. They don't want to do away with. There's no clarity about what they want to do, and you want it to work. It's not going to work. There are sacrifices to be made, and you were saying earlier, and that's why I said this really touched my heart, because I remember, I waited for so long to have children, and when the children came, there's so many sacrifices that are made. I waited for over a decade before having my children after marriage, and it didn't affect my relationship because the love was there. God was the foundation to start with.
Thank
So
God for that.
so even if there are things that we need to deal with, despite all the pressure everywhere, we know who we are, because just like I said, two all coming into a relationship, so it's two whole coming into a relationship. So we're not looking down on each and every one that, oh, you are less. You come with your own personality, and you have to make a compromise to accommodate that. Most time why marriage is not really working is because somebody is claiming that, oh, this is how I want it and this is how it has to be done. There must be a compromise. You've come together to be an entity, so you must be able to, it's just like having some stuff that are not meant to be in your body. You're drinking poison and want to be alive. So it's not going to work. So you
Just a
have
matter
to
of time.
blend together and become one. It's just like when you want to make cake, you're missing a lot of ingredients, egg, butter, and some of these ingredients, they're in lumps, and you have to make it smooth so that everything will have the same texture before you can have the best product of what you want to have. That's how marriage is much more. It take effort to, when you're mixing your cake, you have to be, if you don't have the machine to use, you have to use a lot of time strength to get that texture that you want. If you don't do that, you won't have the best cake, that smoothness and everything. And the same thing. So there is a lot of effort, there is a lot of, mistake and correction and trying to adjust yourself and trying to understand the other person, being able to talk. Communication is even 1 to 100. If you don't communicate, just know that there is no relationship. It would definitely break down. Some people get into marriage and become so moody, they don't want to talk, they just assume the other person should know. Nothing will work. So there was a time that, after coming into the marriage, God blessed me with twins. And not too long, I had another girl. So in the space of 18 months, I have 3 children. And, so God is faithful. And, long story cut short, because there was a lot that happened before that. But the fact is that our foundation is built on God, and we are not looking at other my shortcoming, my mistake, or this. No, we believe that we're in this relationship because we are meant to be. We have our differences, but we're going to bring those differences and make something out of it. So that's so important. The reason why so many people lose their self is because this person is in marriage. Some people, it could be the man or the woman, feel intimidated by this person's gifting. Say, for example, I'm a pastor, my husband is a pastor. No, not an example. My husband is a pastor, I'm a pastor. And I do a lot of things that I'm everywhere on the social media. He's not. You will never see him except I post his video or anything. He's not a social media person. So I remember so many people asking me sometime, even these are pastors, asking me, oh, are you married? Did your husband allow you? And so many questions. And I would just laugh and all that. He will like, you are the face, you go and do what you need to do. I travel, I do mission. He doesn't do that. So he understands my calling. He understands what God has placed on me. He's not intimidated by what I'm doing. I have the full support. But in some aspect, I've found some people that, even women of God, that their husband just want them. They've been pastoring, they've been ordained, they've been in ministry even way long before they got married. And they come into this marriage, and this man said, you have to sit at the back and, look after people and don't even talk. Just everything that has been vested on you should just be kept quiet because you got married. So that happens sometimes. And don't think this woman that you silence will be happy. No, she can never be happy. She will never be herself. At some point, the marriage is no more there. There will be a lot of unsaid issues that a little push, everything will bust out. And this is why I'm coming back to our question. So there are a lot of, you were saying something earlier that you have to make some compromise. Raising those children, then my business, I had to stop traveling because I traveled a lot before to Africa, and I had to stop, and so many compromises that I have to make. And as at that time, there was a time that I was thinking, will my life come to a hold and all that? But at the same time, I thought they were blessing. I asked for them, and now they have come. So I need to rearrange myself to suit my situation at that moment, not complaining, because complaining will make it worse. So they became joy. They were just, I built my work, my business around them. I adjusted everything to suit what my situation at that moment. So it wasn't like I'm losing myself. I can't lose myself in the sense that, this is what I asked for. Sometimes we forget about, what we actually prayed for. When the prayer is answered, it becomes a curse. Kind of. We start complaining. So they are blessing, they remain blessing. So why not think about what should I do? This is the new level. What is the new, the new plan to suit the level that I'm in? Most people don't do that, but they rather start complaining, a woman or a man has to sacrifice at some point when children start coming in. And that's why it's always good to talk about your, before you come, you were saying earlier, you have to, this thing you have to discuss. You have to have that counsel, whether you like it or not. You can't get everything, during the counsel, but at least you can still flashback and said, oh, we actually talked about this. So what should we do? Let's go back to the drawing board. How can we adjust ourselves? But if you never talked about anything, you never even discussed, you just like, oh, I love this person, and it could even become a lust. Maybe you just like the physique. Maybe the person is fair, and now you're married. This person became dark. What are you going to do? Will you now say, oh, you don't even fit purpose anymore? I didn't bargain for this. I've heard people say, oh, I didn't bargain for this. What did you bargain for?
I wonder.
So it's so important that, communication, and the communication should be on the foundation of marriage if you want to get married. Because some people, their communication is different. Talk about everything. Talk about your finance. Talk about, having children. How many children do you want? Talk about your spirituality. It's so important. You can't say, oh, I want this man to be a good man, a man after, and he's not a believer, and you're going into that relationship thinking you will change. You can't change anybody.
No.
You cannot change anybody. Nobody has the power to change anybody. So I will change him from drinking. I will change him from, going to clubbing. You can't do that. So most people that complain these days, I will say, you see it coming. You saw the red flags. You saw everything, and you still went in there. Then you're complaining. I'm not saying there's a perfect man or a perfect woman, but there's ability for you to actually spot out some things. Do you want to go into this with this person? So it's so important. Then if a man from the time of relationship is telling you, this is what I want, you must do this, it's a red flag. Because when you get into the marriage, it's a different ballgame entirely. If it's authoritative from time, it does not give you that space to contribute. You cannot speak your mind and all that. When you get to marriage, it's going to get worse.
Yeah, definitely.
So those are the things. So I would say this, that marriage is not meant to be a partnership of marriage is meant to be a partnership of two wholes, not the merging of two halves into a block. While marriage involves compromise and a shift from me to us. It's from me to us. So it's not going to be me, my thing, my house, my car, in marriage, you're one entity. I've never seen myself say, this is my car, this is my this. No, it's ours. You go into marriage, people will say, oh, that's my car, that's my husband's car. You're not one. It's disjointed because that will bring it. This is my money. That's my. No matter, I'm not stopped from doing whatever I want to do, but we still come together. Maybe we have a project. Everybody, you do what you can do, contribute. Not like, oh, even if it's 70-30 or but someone is not saying, oh, you is your. How I know it's my responsibility to do what I need to do to this. This is my contribution. But if that understanding is not there, if that's foundation is not there, things will be difficult. So it's shifting from me to us. So losing your individual self is actually detrimental to the health of that relationship. So you cannot lose yourself in marriage. You cannot lose yourself in marriage. You have to, balance unity and in your individuality is so important. And the partnership of two or into a healthy relationship, the goal is interdependency. Each and every one, you are an entity. Even though you are one, you are an entity. Interdependency, not codependency. So it's so important. So while maintaining your identity is so important, you can't lose yourself that, because I'm married, then I'm not going to do my business again. I'm not going to be a pastor again, because my husband is not a pastor and he will be intimidated when he sees me. I'm just citing that example. So
we have them in reality, sis. We do.
yeah, I've even had a couple. Somebody, I met some time ago. She was this man met her while she was doing street evangelism and stuff like that. And he fell in love and all that, and they got married. And immediately they got married, this man actually stopped her, said, you can't go do anything again. Even if she doesn't even go to church. She saw me on the street ministering to someone, and she said, oh, I used to do this before. And she said all her story, and I felt so sorry for her. But I said, well, you can pray about it. God knows your heart. And what I think is that she saw the red flag. Sometimes we see things and we still go into, especially when it comes to marriage. Relationship is different from marriage. I know Ashan was saying something. It's a two different ball game. You are in for life, and marriage is beautiful. I enjoy my marriage. I'm not faking it. I love my marriage. I love my husband. Even though we've been together for over 30 years, we're still like boyfriend and girlfriend. And because we understand each other and the foundation is God, the Bible says, except the Lord build a house, the labor of the building faint. So it's so important that we understand. So diversity strengthens the bond. If you recognize that this person is good in this area, you allow the person to be
complement you, not compete.
Yes, thank you. So your uniqueness, your unique perspective, hobbies, personality, that was what I was trying to put in the comment section. Your unique perspective, hobbies, and personality are what attract your partner to you in the first place. Because if he didn't see any quality, he wouldn't have come for you. So why would he ask you to erase it? So if you erase those things, the relationship loses the dynamics, the dynamic energy that keeps it alive. Some women, when they get married, they just like lose themselves, start looking dirty, tying wrapper on their chest, and no more makeup, nothing to even. This man saw you, even say for example you're going out, you want to go out to meet him, maybe you have a date or something, you take time to do all the makeup, look good, look presentable, you want everything on point. And now you got married, you just like, you won't even take your bath, you just all kind of horrible smell will be coming out, your hair unkept. And what do you think? The relationship will not, it will be strained, because this person sees another person outside, and when he first saw you, you were attractive. So where is the attraction? That you have children does not make you look. Sometimes people will guess, what's your age, how old are you, and all that. You cannot know my age, because I look good all the time. I look after myself.
Good.
is so important. So these are little things, little foxes, you know. So you if you erase those things, that relationship will lose the dynamic energy that keeps it alive, because those are the things that attracted your partner to you. So to then to present to prevent resentment, when people abandon their dreams or social circle
Engagement.
entirely for a spouse, it often leads to, bitterness, kind of, keeping your own interests. We provide you a healthy relationship outlet to prevent you from placing impossible burden on your happiness, your joy, because you are now sacrificing everything, and you'll be wondering, did I make a mistake? Well, am I supposed to be here? So it's so important to think that marriage, as the distinct parts, is three entity, really: you, your partner, and the relationship. So for the relationship to be strong, the two pillars supporting its individuality must remain very firm and well defined. And that's why it's so important, you have to define what's your relationship, what you're looking at before getting into it. Do you really want to go on with this? Things might change as time goes on, because it's not written on stone, but you work together as one entity. Even when we couldn't have the children were not coming for, my husband wasn't saying, oh, even despite the fact that there were pressure, people were saying, oh, she's a man, she can give bad, so many things. I was called a man as at that time, and so many pressure, family, friends, church, everywhere. But he had to respond and said, I didn't marry you because of the children. I married you because I love you. And it goes a long way for me. And that really took me to say, God, even if I didn't choose children, I must have children, even if it's just one, for my husband. So that foundation, so finding the balance, maintaining yourself doesn't mean being selfish. It means maintaining personal boundaries, having your own thought and opinion. And that doesn't mean you are a selfish person. Pursuing, a solo interest, what you like to do, keeping up with the passion that makes you feel alive, is so important. Self-care, recognizing that you can pour out, from you cannot pour out from an empty cup. You must be filled. There must be something that is unique about you that you're not going to kill or just throw away because you are now married. It's so important. And the bottom line, which I'm going to round up, I don't want to take all the time. I know some other people.
We're loving what we're hearing.
So the
Very
bottom line,
insightful.
marriage should be like a duet. Were you the one talking about people singing together? Someone said something about, marriage should be like a duet. That harmony, we come together. I sing a lot. I love, so
Same
marriage
here.
should be a duet, when you're bringing your harmony and bringing my, and when the song is sung, it's heavenly. So it's so important. You are singing the same song in harmony, but you are still two distinct voices. If one voice disappear, it's no longer a duet. It will be a solo. So it's so important that we understand that a marriage should be like a duet. We work together, we bring a beauty, a color to it. And I will say this: God is the foundation of marriage. Without, resorting to him to find a path, is a pathfinder. Even if things go wrong, you can go back to him. I won't say I am still standing today by my own power. The Bible says we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. We're only able to sustain our relationship, and we are example to many because our foundation was in God, not because, my husband is a macho man, me, I'm this. No, it was still the same principle of marriage that we go back to and say, God, you brought us together and you have a purpose for our life, and you know the direction that you want for us. And if you ask him, he will show you the path.
Definitely.
So it's so important that we do not remove God from our relationship and think it's going to work. The devil does not want marriage. He will bring discord, he will bring thoughts, he will even bring the past. But when you stay on God and said, we've been joined together in holy matrimony, and it's before God and man, and it's for good and good. And you can actually add God. There will be mistakes, there will be a lot of things, but it can still be good when you take it back to him. And prayer as well, and patience. Patient. Love, I always say, I walk in love. I don't fall in love. When you fall in love, you might not be able to stand up, but walk in love.
I think your eyes
So
are
I'll
open
leave
to
it at
see.
this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pastor Maria. My goodness. Thank you. In fact, one more. Wow. Very insightful. Very, very insightful. I can't top that. So I'm just going to leave it. Let it sink in to everyone that have listened to what you've got to say. Really appreciate it and hope you join us from time to time. I take it you probably will go on your live now. When do you go on live normally? Is it on Thursdays as well?
Yeah, on Thursdays, and
Please, let's follow her. Let's support her.
thank
She's
you.
come here to do the same. We really appreciate your submissions tonight. It's really driven home a lot of thoughts and reflections. And I pray that God will continue to help us in our marriages. Thank you so much for your contribution. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much. I appreciate. The Lord bless you and increase your
Amen.
impact always in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you so much. We do understand if you have to drop off. We do understand.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. But I mean, you're always welcome here, anyways. Thank you so much.
Thank
Guys,
you.
let's follow Pastor Maria. Please, let's follow and support her as well. Susan, I'm going to come to you now. My dearest Susan, how are you?
Hello, good evening,
Good
everybody.
evening. Happy Thursday to you.
Same to you all. Good evening.
Good evening.
Oh, well done, Mr. Elder Kenneth, for checking your mental health, your mental well-being. Thank you.
Very important. Oh,
It
very,
is.
very.
It is. And you know that Monday that we talked about it, I just went to work yesterday. One of the patients that was discharged on Monday just committed suicide.
Oh my goodness.
I know. So it's really
My
important.
mental well-being. Hey, it's very oh my goodness.
I know. Very quiet bloke, doesn't say much,
Oh dear.
wouldn't cause trouble, but what they want to do is in their mind. So men, please talk. Men who talk, you heal better. That's what I tell them. Yeah. All right, marriage.
Well,
Hmm.
yes, indeed. We're talking about balancing independence and unity in that marriage relationship. So we've talked about a lot. I gave a lot in my submission as well. So number one question is, are people meant to lose their individual self in marriage?
Why do you want to lose yourself?
Mm.
That's the question you ask. Why do
It's
you
some
want
people's
to?
reality, and that's why we have to talk about it.
I know. And sometimes when it happens, I think most people are just scared of what will people say. This business of what will they say, what will people say, has really caused a lot of havoc
Yeah.
in people's self-esteem, because people tend to lose their
Mental.
self-esteem as well in marriage. And you know that will I say the man ego, or that African cultural way of I'm the man of the house, so your voice is not important. You just stay at home and take care of the kids. You don't go to work. Anything you earn, or I am the breadwinner, you are the neck, I am the head. all those business, all those things has really killed people's self-esteem, and they tend to lose themselves in marriage. And some of them tend to think that is submission. When they say Bible says you should submit, you should
Oh.
submit doesn't mean you should lose yourself. Some people submit and lose
In
themselves
line.
in marriage. And I don't know if religion is causing a lot of havoc or is helping, because the way some people read the Bible, I think they turn the Bible upside down and
No, they
just
actually mix it with their culture.
culture. It's just it's too much, and it's really killing a lot of people in marriage. Where people are losing their self-esteem, they don't even know their left from their right. If they say anything, oh, my husband say, my husband say, my husband say, as if you've never married before. If you stay with some people that are married, you will just, is this how marriage is, or is this how sweet
You
it should
run
be?
from it.
You'll be like, my husband say, my husband that, before you cough, my husband can.
Yep. Yes.
And then you now ask yourself, can you not breathe without your husband say? Just
They're not
breathe,
allowed.
just breathe. But it's and all those things
Good
just make
evening,
people.
Bariton. Good to see you.
And I don't want
Happy
to
New Year.
generalize it. Even some men, they lose themselves in marriage. It's not about women.
Yes,
Some
that's as if we're
men,
not
they
gender
lose
biased. Yeah.
themselves. Yeah. So all those things, it's really, you just ask yourself what is going on. What is really going on. And some men, or most men, don't talk.
Good
They
evening.
just swallow the whole thing.
Bariton.
Even women, I think, was it today we're talking about it, that if you see them talk, no, it was today. See, if you see some ladies, you would think it's all lovey-dovey. Coming inside, they are breaking all the plates in the house, shouting. Whoa, some of them do not want to even go home. They go from one job to the other because they don't want to go home. They don't want to go home and face the same wahala that they've left.
Yeah.
And some people, they've just lost their self-esteem. They've lost everything about themselves. I remember back in the days, if you remember, is it NACB? NACB, yeah. My auntie used to work in NACB, but she was in Kaduna. And then she met this guy. He was working in NACB, but in Umuahia, in the village. She had to leave, resign from her Kaduna one in the name of marriage, and went to Umuahia in the village. I'm like, so why didn't you transfer?
To this city or something.
No, even if you want to go to the village, at least transfer. But this one, you just resigned.
Oh, from the work altogether.
Bam.
Oh, wow.
And then went to this Umuahia of a thing, and he was the only one going to work. She was the housewife. That marriage did not last 1 year.
Wow.
And it really demoralized her. She forgot who she was. So such things, people, like we talk. I know in those days, people don't really talk much. No, say nine be the man. Before woman, we open get respect. Nine be the man. But these days, I'm happy that people are speaking. People are talking. Even if you don't want to do your counseling, they still push you to do it. Even if it's 1 week, you do, at least talk. Communication before you marry. There are a lot of things you think you can ignore. Don't enter marriage and ignore those things. Because when when those things start coming out, then you'll be like,
Glamorous, I see.
You will just be, it's just exclamation that will be coming out of your mouth every day. I never knew this part of you. We don't want that. It's something we should enjoy. Like Pastor Maria said, marriage should be enjoyed, and she's enjoying her marriage,
Thank God.
which is a great thing. And then look at you the other time flipping all the pictures. I was
Oh
like,
my
wow.
goodness, don't get us started now.
When you look at those things, you're like, wow, wow.
Yeah.
So it's some that if and it's like Elder Leslie said, it's hard work. Oh.
Tell me about it.
People just want to go to school, pass, and
Sometimes you repeat, you have carryover, you carry on
hey,
again,
and you won't even tell anybody that you have
Aye,
carryover. Just
that's
do your
it.
carryover and shut up. Just move on. Do your thing and be like, that's how marriage is. You meet there are times you just disagree to agree, but don't lose yourself in it. If you do, then I don't know if the children will call you a failure or your generation will call you a failure.
Because
You
they'll be
need to
watching, of course.
and sometimes people just want to please. Man, just keep quiet, I beg now. It's our culture, say. Which Bokoro culture? Which kind of mumu culture? When there's some statement people make, you just shake your head and just walk away. Because if you comment, it will look as if now you know pass or
But it's what has been passed on to them. So you can't blame them. They don't know any better, I guess.
You can unlearn, you can relearn.
That's if they know, if they come to that realization. Do you know that a lot of people, people marry for 40 years and they end it. They came to some sort of realization and they cannot hack it anymore. And people say, what would people say? 40 years? You want to throw away? So better earlier than never or later.
That's because we keep putting all these red flags under the carpet. And when you shove it under the carpet, he who fights and run away, you live to fight another day. So if you shove it under the carpet, one day you sweep that carpet and it will come out. And then it will be too late. It will be too late. And some people, they have all their children, 4 or 5 children, and then you want to come out. How now? Why? All this while you didn't see all this, and then you start. There's some things, sometimes, like you said, it is what we've been fed or we've seen. But you still want to choke your head. And like one of my friends, I keep telling the mother, I said, it's your fault. Your daughter married this man because you turn her to prayer points. You don't want that. Let her just, even though she's growing old, she has not seen the person. Now you push her to the wrong person. She is married to this wrong person now. Everybody's complaining. There is no peace. It's better you marry well. When you marry, they say not be who first marry, nine be marriage. Or every people, but you buy tear rubber today, tomorrow is not tear rubber.
So
That's how marriage is. You want to marry because your mates are marrying. You want to marry because it's the in thing, and then before you know, it's the out thing. Then when it's the out thing, you're the only one feeling the heat. Then you start playing the videos music, they go feel it. Who want feel them? Now you they feel them. So all those things. It's just don't lose yourself. That's the thing. No matter how hard it is, do not lose yourself. Even when people want to tell you otherwise, just be you. As long as you are you and you stand on who you are and what the word of God says, you will not lose yourself. And we tend to lose ourselves because we lack that self-esteem. You don't even know who you are. Because if you know who you are, meanwhile, when you lose yourself, you're thinking, I know who I am. I know. Sometimes we just mix religion, culture, and all those nonsense together. And
I know who God says I am.
Yeah.
What He says I am.
Meanwhile, they go slap you.
Losing myself now.
All those things. No, there are some things we do, you just look at it. There's no point. Don't lose yourself in it. I know it's not easy. It's easier said than done, but it's doable.
But really, Susan, can two really unite without losing themselves in that marriage
Of
relationship.
course, why not? It's not a day's job. Elder Kenneth said it, or Elder Leslie said it. It's not a day's
Well,
job. You can, if you discuss, you talk. That's why God gave us mouth. It's not to eat. Use your mouth to
alone.
talk. Use your sense to reason.
Some of us need
Because
food, though.
there's a way you'll be following. Maybe in 1 year you're doing something. If it did not click, guy, let's revisit this journey. How do we do it? But maybe quarterly, every
I was going
quarter
to
of
say
the year.
a year is long.
Well, no, you when you have a long-term plan and that plan do not go well, you now sit back. But obviously, you could do a monthly review. This week, this month, see this. What do you think? Let's re-strategize. Let's do this. You talk. If you don't talk, you cannot. There will be no unity. And you can still be independent and you are doing your thing, he's doing his thing, you people are doing together, and there's still unity as long as everybody's head is calm. But you still have to communicate. If you don't communicate,
Definitely.
everybody is doing their own thing. Before you know, it will be Christmas. Next year again, we do New Year resolution. Before you blink, another Christmas. You have not achieved anything.
Yeah.
You agreed to buy a house this year. Middle of the year, what's going on? How much have you saved? What is this? Where is this one go? Review yourself. You talk about it. There are a lot of things we don't talk about before marriage, but I think this generation, they are talking. And when you hear the kind of questions they ask, you'll be like, wow. That is, even you that you are already married, you will pick from it. I hope a what?
You say you have a question, please. Is what Susan saying on the same lane as what Leslie said?
Which of them?
There's so many things Leslie said. Sometimes we
Leslie read
draw.
a whole book. I just took a leaf out of the book he read.
But Baritone, you're just joining, except
Yeah.
you've been listening to what Leslie have said. Sometimes they refer to maybe just a statement from somebody else, not necessarily all they
The
have
whole
said.
thing.
I don't know if that answers you.
Because I'm going in a different way. I heard what he said, but I'm trying to
Maybe you've taken one or two from what Leslie said, not necessarily all. I'm talking about the central theme Les talked about. Baritone,
please bring your voice. Let's know what you're
maybe you come into the box because I don't understand. Leslie said a whole bunch of things, and Susan is saying, one or two might be similar, or she's referring to one or two things Leslie said, but not necessarily all that he has said. So she's giving her submission as well, except we're missing the point.
So what's the second question?
So the second question is what I've asked you, that can two come together really without losing themselves in the marriage?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a yes and a no if they are willing. Because it's a willing heart that gets a good reward. Some people will tell you, yes, let's do this, and at the end of the day, they are doing a different thing. Or there's an issue in a marriage. Oh, baby, I will change. They don't change. They are the same thing. So it's just the willingness. And if you have the heart, okay, I have somebody, his own, he said, because nobody helped him when he was small. Now he's grown. He will not help anybody. So you see that kind of mindset, he will never change.
But love makes you do certain things you don't want to do. When he falls in love, he might start,
He's already in marriage.
And
he's already in marriage, and he
is that still the lifestyle?
Yes, so he has refused to change.
Please let us pray for this sister.
He's a brother that is not even changing.
Oh.
So to him he said, so and I says, but you not expect people to help your children. He said if they want help, now then sabi. but for him, come beg you
See
to
the
do anything.
baggage
You
from
can
that
see
part.
how blunt, how arrogant, but you want to help the person because, oh, this one, now my person. So some people are not willing to change. Such people, there is nothing, there will be no unity, because they'll just be hitting on a rock and all that. There will be no unity. But if a willing heart, I'll give myself as an example. My husband, fine, he came from Nigeria. I had to tell him, this is how this place is. So he's willing to adapt. He's willing to change. To him, it's like, he don't come here now. What do you want to do? Is it this age that he'll go and start doing hanky-panky? Where he want start from? So you now look at it. This is someone that wants to change. Then you meet another person that is ready to paint the town red. When you've not painted your own town red, you want to paint other people's town. Such things, there's no amount of talk you talk that will change such person. So you have to be willing to change, and you have to discuss it to say, guy, this is what we need to do. If you don't talk, there's no unity. If you assume, I remember somebody say, if you assume, you're just making an ass between you and me. So don't assume. Let's talk about it, work together, and see how it goes. People just sit down and think, oh, marriage, there's no hard work. Yet you go to school for 3 years. You graduate and you still be working. Even in that work, you will still do mistake. And you think if there's a little mistake in marriage, you want to blow the whole earth down. Come on. It's the same thing with our spiritual life. You're going to church, somebody poured you water, hey, you start shouting. Meanwhile, they'll pour you the same water at work, you'll be fine. You smile and dust it. We need to change our perception where marriage is. It's hard work. The way, like Jesus said, he's gone, he's the groom. He's going to prepare for his bride. So imagine you now, somebody is preparing. If Jesus can go and prepare, you don't want to prepare. Which kind of marriage you want to enjoy if you don't prepare? You have to prepare this marriage. It's just like food. You want to eat rice. You cannot just eat uncooked rice. You have to cook it, Abi. Put garnish it. The same thing with marriage. Garnish it with different things. Everywhere, just garnish it, make it sweet. If you know this is what he likes, do it. If this is what you like, oh yeah, let's make it sweet and enjoy. We don't know how long we've got to live. Why do you want to be hoarding and making yourself unhappy for no reason? It's just agreement. Let's be willing to do things together, and we'll enjoy ourselves, enjoy this earth before God calls us home. I beg, Jare. Thank you, Jare.
Thank you, Ojare Susan. Hey, a word is enough for the wise. So if you're the one planning your wedding ceremony and all of that, maybe you need to shift the date forward a bit so that you can have certain conversations with each other. Remember the one I gave of name change or change of name after marriage? They never talked about it. And this woman said, I can't let go of my father's name. I'm going to add yours to it. And the man refused. And that was a big issue. Said, not just me, our children are going to have my name and your name. And the man said, no. It became a big thing, a big deal. So you can imagine. And this was never talked about whilst they were courting. And now in marriage, the man just saw a letter, let's say Cynthia Anthony Smith with the hyphen. And the man was wondering, oh, I got this letter for you. Smith Anthony, is that what? He said, yeah, that my father's name, He said, yeah, but I thought you're taking only mine, Anthony. So it's be Cynthia Anthony. And she said, what gave you that impression? Oh my goodness. You can imagine how that conversation went. And it was a big deal. Oh, she said, not just me, even with our children, I intend for them to have that name. And the man said, no, it was a big deal. But none of this was discussed whilst they were courting. As simple as that sounds, it can actually bring a big fight in that marriage relationship. So that's why we're warning you ahead of time now. I mean, for those who are in the marriage already, we can always manage to enjoy things, You have to change your habits, your ways, your thinking, and all of that, your self-confidence, you need to find back your voice, you need to find back. Sometimes you might have to do that. We talked about sacrificial love. We're not talking about losing yourself, because there's always a thin line, and if it tilts to one side, there are consequences, and if it's too much on the other side, there are consequences as well. There has to be that balance. So are people meant to lose their individual self when they get married? I'm coming to you, Relationship Clinic. Good evening to you. Happy Thursday. Let's hear you. Good evening, sis.
Yeah,
Good evening. I hope you're not sleeping now.
no, no.
Okay. It's been a long day. You sound tired.
Yeah.
So you just have to relax after taking that pepper soup. Hmm? Good evening. Thanks for joining in. I'm sure you've heard, almost everyone, because I think you came in not too long after the first two people. So you've heard what everybody have had to say. We're still, kind of expanding it. Perhaps you have a different perspective you want to bring in. Are people meant to lose their individual self in marriage? And truly, can two individuals really unite without losing themselves in their marriage relationship? So I don't know which one you want to start with. Yeah, thank you to everyone, being a support to everyone in the box. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you guys. Thank you. So let's hear you, Enna.
Okay, I would say marriage is actually supposed to actually make one better and not to lose their essence. Yeah,
Okay.
because you are getting married and that marriage is supposed to bring about like increase in terms of personal development and all that, and not to actually
Supposed to.
take you backward in life. Yes, because even the scriptures have already said that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. And that same scriptures also said that, and I've forgotten the way it's written, but I've forgotten the way it's
Which
written
one? You
actually.
can paraphrase, really.
Okay, okay. Like it's actually explaining that both the men and the woman are actually supposed to excel and progress in life. So I would say marriage is a blessing, and as you're getting married, you're supposed to actually make your partner better than like before,
Found them.
better, like more better. That when they compare their life now to when they met you, there should be a difference. You both should be able to share your vision and your
A
goals. I saw one video on
positive, a
TikTok.
positive difference, sis.
Yes, yes, yes. I
Mm.
saw one video on TikTok, and the lady said that after 19 years of marriage, nothing to show, only 4 children. And I was like, I don't understand. That video was so hilarious. I was like, 14 years of marriage, and you are coming out saying nothing to show, only 4 children that you have to show for your marriage. And I was like, this thing about losing oneself in marriage, mostly it's women that actually lose their self when they get married. Sometimes the men in their life actually want them to be better, but some of them they just like are just too occupied. Like I don't know. They start thinking that now that I'm married, then there's no need to actually improve on
Benefit.
myself. There's no need that yes, I should just relax. Like what's there? Like what am I doing? Like they don't see any need to actually um improve themselves. And sincerely, a marriage is supposed to make you better as
Yeah.
a person. Both the man and the woman, you're supposed to get better after you get married. And I love one something is in Mr. Kenneth that said is that like when you get married to, sometimes you can just create a time. Maybe you and your spouse can discuss to work on one project at a time. Like you both will put in your energy into supporting one of the person, like one of your spouse. Like maybe for instance now you because currently now I have different product I'm selling. My husband too have his own product he's selling too, and like he was trying to say that we should actually maybe meet, discuss, and say, okay, let's push this one first. Together, we put in our effort and push it first. Then later on, you cannot start doing your own. It made me remember what Pastor Mildred Okonkwo said. She said when she got married, she was able to support her husband in his ministry, supported him, and she actually abandoned herself for some time. Then later on, she actually picked up and started doing something for herself, and the husband too was still pushing her. So it depends on what works for each couple. I believe there's a place for discussion whereby the two parties can discuss and find out what works for them. If they can push their project
Same time.
individually, or maybe you can do it, yes, maybe you can do it one at a time. So marriage should make you better. That's the only thing I will have to say. Although there are some few individuals that they marry to people who doesn't want their progress, so they will limit them in life. If they will tell them you can't work, you can't do this, you always stay at home. They're actually covering their, like they're actually trying to dim their light. Just like trying to dim their light. If they say there's something they want to do to better themselves, their husband or their wife will say no, don't do it and all that, because most of these things happen due to insecurity. Number one, insecurity. They are so insecure, and also it happens due to control. They want to control the woman. There's somebody I dated then. It's that relationship just lasted for just 1 month because I discovered that this person would not want me to grow. He wanted to be under, like, just to be under him. Like, I don't know how to explain it. The thing lasted for just 1 month and I left. I just told myself that this cannot work
One
for
month
me.
before you even started. Wow.
Yes, so I just rejected the whole stuff and I said, no, this is not for me. Because I discovered that during the dating process, I lost my peace. We were always quarreling. There was
Oh
no day
dear.
we agree on anything. I just told myself that, this thing will not work. And that's how I just say, I beg, let's just go our separate ways.
Wow.
Because just within that 1 month, a lot of things happened. In fact, I've been doing this um relationship um coaching for a long time now. Like that, even when I was still in university, this is what I've been doing. So there was one time I was trying to attend a program too for single ladies and also the program too. At least as I'm there, I'm also learning. I'm also learning, trying to improve myself. I told him because he's going to be a pastor. He's a pastor. I don't know. So I told him I want to attend. He told me that no, I'm the one that's supposed to be organizing my own. Let people come to it. No, no, that's not what he said. He said him too is a pastor. He was not saying that. For instance, if we now get married, is that how I'll be going to attend other people's program? I'm not supposed to attend. There's a way he puts it that I'm not supposed to attend other people's program and events. It's only his own that whenever it's organized, I should be like. There's a way he puts it. And
Oh,
different other sense. I see him as a person who want to shrink me and make sure that I'm not able to fulfill the purpose of my life. So that is another thing. Most people they observe these things when they are dating, but
they
they will
ignore it.
just ignore. Yes, they say love is blind. But by the time you enter into
Marriage
that
will
marriage,
open that eyes. Don't worry.
marriage you open your two eyes and you start seeing clearly. So I just feel marriage, it's not, to me, marriage is not supposed to be difficult. It's not supposed to be difficult. If you're able to understand the other person you are married to, people discuss and all that, you should be going yourself. So don't just allow your spouse, because sometimes the woman will be going, like improving herself, personal development and all that, taking courses, like just doing stuff to be better. And sometimes the man will judge the last, and you will not see after so many years, you see that the woman will not be above the man. Like, no, I won't say above, will not be like higher than the
Yeah,
man
make it
in
even.
terms of in terms of
Faith in action, I
in
see.
terms, both financially, intellectually, all way around, because the man has refused to actually grow too, and even maybe the woman is not supporting the man. So I feel everybody should support themselves. So don't allow anything to be a barrier to you, because most people they use differences as barrier. Personally, when I gave birth, it was not easy to be able to say, okay, I want to keep on showing up for myself and also do other things too. But I just have to push myself and keep on doing these things, because if you just let me relax, maybe after I finish giving birth and all that, I will now
Find
uh,
it hard to go back. Yeah.
my life and all that. Sometimes you will just be in that state for long. Even if when your children have grown up and all that, you still be in that condition, because it will not be easy for you to start up again and start doing and start showing up and pushing yourself. So I feel everybody should be able to see that I'm married does not mean I cannot push myself, because your children too, they will grow up and meet you. What example are you showing these children? Because they will actually learn from your story. You tell them that, see what happened when I really gave birth, see how I pushed myself, see I was able to do this. Let them still go to schools and their teachers are proud. Like, and their teachers will say, are you the daughter of so person? You say, yes, sir, your mother is a great woman. Your father, let them smile and say, oh, my mother is this, my mother is that, my father is this and all that. So that they too will know that when it gets to their own turn, they're not supposed to actually lose themselves. Yeah, they're not supposed to lose themselves. So yeah, that's my own answer to that question.
Okay, thank you so much, Eno. Thank you. It's amazing. A lot happens in marriage that we never foresaw, to be honest with you. And that's why it's an institution you go to learning a lot of things. Sometimes you have to compromise, you have to be tolerant, you have to be selfless, you have to be understanding, you have to be extra patient. It comes with a whole lot. But as much as that is good, are we meant to lose ourselves in marriage? That is the question we're dealing with. And truly, again, truly, can two people really unite without losing themselves in a marriage relationship? Because it's hard work. Debbie, I'm going to come to you now. I think you're the next person, because I know there was a gap in the boxes before. Debbie, good evening. Happy Thursday. Welcome, Debbie Gazim. Gang, gang, gang. I hope you're there. Oh. It's not the picture I'm just looking at. Faith in Action, I see you. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening.
Auntie Debbie, why does it always take you like 20 seconds to unmute? You're thinking about it, you do? Or
I don't know what I'm doing here.
what do you mean you don't know what you're doing here? Shan may as well say the same. But it's good. We know what you're doing here, and we appreciate you coming back here. So thank you for joining us this evening. Good evening, happy Thursday to you.
Good evening. Happy Thursday, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, TikTok.
So I don't know whether you heard some submissions. A call has come in or something. Because if then I'll have to repeat myself.
I am
Did
here.
you? Okay. So did you hear the question, or do you want me to repeat the question, or?
I think the question was, why do people lose themselves when they marry, Happy?
Are
Is that
people
the question?
meant? Are they meant to?
Are they meant to?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody don't answer. Anybody will come marry after all the ones where all elders don't talk, we can lose themselves. Wow. Wow.
Because this is some people's reality.
But I think
But,
the question is,
mm.
do people know themselves before they marry? Is it not what you know that you do?
Okay, let's go back to the basics.
Before you lose something, you must know it, you must have it. Do you know yourself? Do you have yourself before you marry?
We do. Let's assume for a second that we do.
That's the thing. If you assume that you know yourself, that means yourself is not valuable enough for you to lose it.
Oh, I see.
If you know yourself, you know your worth, you know who you are in God, you know who you are as a human, you know who you are as a woman, you know who you are, you want to be as a mother, whatever you want to be in career, in whatever you want to be. And that thing is important to you. What you will look for is somebody that complements, that works in alignment with what you are, who you are, and not watch who you have to dim your light off your life for to be in their life. If you have to do that for you to be in somebody's
Excellent. I
life,
see you.
then it's not that person's fault. That is not that person's fault.
Really?
Yes, it's not that person's fault. The reason anybody can demand of you to switch off your light is because they have asked you to lower the shining of the light, and you have said, oh, maybe it's because the light is entering their eyes. You lower it. Once you have lowered one level, forget about it. You will soon switch it off.
Leslie, please start praying for Debbie. I'm sensing something
That's
might be
why
coming up.
that's why I said, what am I doing here?
Let's
That's why I said,
behave. Let's behave, yes? Self-control.
I have it. This is actually part of. I said today is like that Leslie and Lady Susan that is praying for me. So I believe that the prayer is working.
Oh, hallelujah.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
carry
just
on.
what I'm surprised is the people that are praying for me. When I joined, it was Mr. Leslie, and I can feel the fire from every part of his body coming out.
Okay.
So when he's now praying for me, what do you think will happen? What unction do you
Hallelujah.
think is resting on me?
Extra grace and glory. So
Okay.
you to absorb it, let it work, please.
Okay, I'm trying.
Okay, good girl. Well done.
I'm trying. Okay, Debbie. Okay, back to what I was saying. As I was saying, for everybody or anybody that my opinion, it
Yeah.
might not be right, but based on the part of the Bible that I have
True
read,
love, I see you.
based on the Bible that I have read, all the versions I have read so far so good. I did not see anywhere where we have to off our lights. Funny enough, even for me to follow Christ, he first died for me, and he did not say to me, Debbie, for you to follow me, you have to lose who you are. No. In fact, the promise is that when you start following me, you will be great and extremely great. And you get that? No, but God did not say, he said I should submit myself. See, losing yourself in this concept is you dropping everything you have been. Lose yourself in Christ is different from lose yourself for Christ, sir. Lose yourself in Christ is you saying, lead me. That is me submitting to Christ, to the obedience of Christ. Losing myself is only Christ that came and died for us. Sir, Christ is the head of the church. Marriage is a symbol of the church. If we have to put it in that way. What I am saying is, if you have to lose yourself for somebody, for you to be in somebody's, Christ died for you. Christ died for me. I didn't die for Christ. He gave his life for me. So if I'm the only thing he asks of me is to submit my life to him. And when I submit my life to him, I become more, that I may know him and the power of his name. So when we say you are losing yourself, the concept is, are you losing yourself for that person? For you to be able to, for that person to accept you, for that person to see you worthy. I don't need to lose myself for Christ to see me worthy. I don't need to lose myself for Christ to accept me. I just need to surrender. I just need to submit. He's always there to accept me. I just need to open up for him to come in. So if you have to forget who you are, drop everything you have been, everything God made you to be, everything God has given into you, all your assignments, all your giftings, all your purpose, because you want to be somebody's husband, somebody's wife. Then what's the point of the purpose God gave you? What's the point of that gift? That's why I asked earlier, did you even know yourself? Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? As a person, as somebody's child, as
Georgie, I see you.
somebody in Christ, as maybe an entrepreneur, a doctor, that's in your career, as who you want to be, a mother, whatever you want to be. Do you even know yourself? Did you study yourself to the extent where you get to understand who you are, what you can take, what works for you, what does not work for you? There are some of us that we know the only reason we are calm is because we don't have money yet. Once we have money, our shoulder is over our head. But you now marry when you are poor, your husband believe you are humble, your wife believe, oh my goodness, this man is a very humble, he's a very calm man. Immediately you have money, the real you came out. Because you didn't get to know yourself. That's just by the way. If you have to drop everything you have been, everything God have made you to be, for you to be accepted by somebody, I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't see the point. I've said it here several times that I've seen a lot of marriages that, if not because I know Christ, if not because I've studied my Bible so well, and I've read my Bible to the extent I know how God said marriage should be, I have seen other marriages that has worked. But if not because of that, there are some marriages I've seen that the individual will be saying, oh, my spouse is very, and I'm not seeing it. As in, I am not seeing it. You are not even yourself. You are somebody else when you are with this person, you call your spouse, and you are entirely somebody else when you are
Not with them.
not with them. Why? Waiting happen. On top waiting. Oh, sorry. Sorry. What happened? Why? Why do you have to do that? Why do you have to do that? You used to be
On the screen, Georges, it's on the screen.
you used to be an outgoing person. You used to be this, you used to be that. And when women, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be on the gender side now. You know when women say, I used to be this, I used to be that, I used to be da, I used to be da, I used to be re. I'm like, what happened?
I got married.
And please stop lying on your children. Stop lying on your children. Hey, it's because I gave it. Stop lying. It's not the children. It's not the children.
Okay, Georges, it's fine. Okay. Sorry, Debbie. Georges, you're asking, we're talking about balancing independence and unity in marriage. I hope you understand this, yeah? Your English is not too good. Okay, it's all right.
It's not the children. It's not because now Now you decide to lose yourself. And I think Lady Eno said something about, I don't know if it was Lady Eno or Pastor, I can't remember her name anymore, that said something about women after they got married and they start taking care of themselves and something. The only thing that came to my mind is because the only reason they were taking care of themselves as a single lady is because they just want to marry. It's not because they want to live. See, I work with women. I've seen it a lot.
Do you know, I'm so sorry. I'm shaking my head because I'm like 27 years of marriage. I don't think I've ever tied wrapper in my life. I'm
Ah,
like, for what now? I,
if
I
you,
I don't know. I know people love culture and all that, but
me,
anyway,
I'm tying
carry
wrapper
on.
at the moment, sha, if that is the case, but it's not about that.
I don't know. It's not just me, anyways, but it's okay.
Do you
Nah.
understand? It's
Yeah.
because the reason they were taking care of themselves before they marry is because they want to be married. And once they achieve that, that thing drop. You are forgetting that you are a liar, you are a gambler, you are a 419, you are a thief. Oh sorry, and they pray for you, Debbie, they pray for you. Sorry.
I told you to embrace these prayers
The
and let,
reason
let
I
it show
said
Debbie,
forth.
please don't waste my prayer tonight.
I'm trying. It's just that the prayer you pray for me and the option you guys used to pray for me is not collaborating.
Is expired, I mean.
The reason I said those things, I'm sorry. The reason I said those things is because now you have deceived this person. They have married you. Now maintain it. You cannot maintain it. You are now complaining. What are you complaining about? I believe marriage is two complete individual. Two
Okay.
complete. When I say complete, I mean financially complete.
Making choices.
Even if you are not rich, let's say you are still trying to balance it, you are not rich yet, but how you've learned how to save, you've learned how to invest, you've learned how to pay your bill by yourself, you've learned how to live life without anybody.
Leo, I see you.
You are sound. Two complete human being
Yeah, that's what's supposed to be.
coming together. It says one will chase 1,000, two 10,000. It didn't say two will chase 2,000. It said two 10,000s, thousands, not even 10,000, 10,000s. Your two is not even chasing 500. Your two is not even chasing 500. Why do you have to bend, 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 bend? Compromise, yes, you can compromise. Sacrifice, yes, you can
Flourish.
sacrifice for each other. You can sacrifice for each other. Example of what Elder Kenneth said. That is
Good
sacrificing.
evening.
That does not mean his wife. No, that is not the same. But when you have to forget who you are, and you know what's funny is how they say the story of, I used to be this, I used to love this, I used to. That, see, like I said earlier, it's not your spouse's fault. It's not your spouse's fault. Let's now say they participate in it. The reason they participate in it in the beginning is because it's allowed.
Yeah.
It's normal. And why? Because you know that if you are stood on your two legs, you have stood firmly on your two legs and say, oh, this is me. I can compromise, I can sacrifice, but I cannot lose me. And that person cannot accept the real you. You know that you might have to stay another maybe year or years for you to find somebody else. But because you and they are praying for you. But because you like that person so much, sorry, it was something else I wanted to say, but God gave me a good English. Because you like that person so much, you went ahead. You signed it. You signed the contract. You signed the contract. And what now happened is when you now begin to try to introduce who you think you want to be, your spouse will be wondering what's going on. This is not you improving on who they know you to be. This is you changing 360 to a new person. It will be difficult. So you would rather remain there, and then when they are now praying, Father, the purpose of my creation, let it come to pass. The purpose of your creation is you are married. You have left the purpose of your creation for marriage. That's what the angel are saying. Marriage is see. I was saying, I think it was just me and as I was saying, I was saying to her, as I said, I've looked. I realized that marriage is not the problem. That institution don't collect blow. So we don't look and like say that's the problem. No, marriage is not the problem. Marriage is beautiful. You are the one that choose who you want to do life with. You are the one that choose to to bend yourself to the extent where you are now overly folded to the extent where you can't be unfolded. You are folded. You know when you bend first. When you see, there are some things that there are some things that should not be compromised. There are some things, but you see, once you've compromised those important things, I don't know about any other person, but I believe there are some things as human, as individual, if you really know yourself, you've gotten to know yourself, understand who you are, there are some things you will not compromise. Not for anything. Because once you bend 25 degree, believe me, you will bend 50 degree. Then you go 75. And before you know it, you are 100% folding. It's just for us to fold inside wardrobe that remain. And I'll fulfill my destiny prayer. Please, you cannot be praying it again. Because at the end of the day, you didn't even get to know yourself, not to talk of knowing the assignments you have.
That's huge.
If you understand yourself and you don't have to bend, see, when you want, I'm talking as a single person to single people. It doesn't matter for everybody that have married. You people, God will help you in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
When you meet somebody, either a man or a woman, and they want you to change who you are, the major complaint is about who you are. The people that have been in your life, that are valuable to your life, that's their complaint. Don't you know that they're already trying to tell you, if you want to be with me, you have to be isolated. If you want to be with me, you have to drop who you are. If you want to be with me, you have to drop your purpose. If you want to be with me, the only reason you have to be with me is for you to be somebody else entirely. It's just a subtle message that comes in a very thin line, fine print. It's just a fine print in the contracts that you sign.
Good evening.
And once you sign that unwritten contract, support law, sorry.
Translate. Just translate.
It don't go be that. Because you have agreed to bend. You have agreed.
Mark, I see you.
Am I saying don't sacrifice in your marriage? No. Sacrifice is allowed. Compromise is allowed. But losing yourself is not allowed. I used to be a gym person. Now, hello, you are just indisciplined. Mr. Leslie, are you bending down to pray for me or standing up? Maybe you need to lie down. Oh.
You to behave yourself.
I'm
Period.
trying.
I
See,
know.
I've heard a lot of things from people, and I'm like, and I have promised myself, and God has been helping me, that anytime anybody is saying, I used to be this before I married this person. For some reason now, I am deaf, dumb, blind,
Hmm.
lame, and everything when it comes to their matter. Because I'm like, you were not that person. You just went into that. You just practiced that for you to be seen and be picked, and they don't pick you. Congratulations.
Hmm.
Because
Thank you
at
so
the
much.
end of the day,
Hmm.
all you are doing is performing.
Hmm.
And for me, I believe marriage is two complete individual coming together, becoming one. And you becoming one means, as time goes on, you are working together. You have become one to the extent that your thinking are now similar. Your action can be predicted between each other. You can now predict, okay, you can make decision for your spouse. That's you becoming one.
Hmm.
No, there are some decisions you can make for your spouse when they are not there.
Some.
Yeah, that's why I said you can make decision. I'm not saying all decision. There are some decisions you can make for them. You can predict what, almost accurately, what they can do. So if you have to forget that, whatever you want to be, if you have to leave it for you to be married, I don't think it's important. That it's not that important. That thing is not that important.
Hmm.
So I think, know who you are. It's what you know that you lose. It's what you have that you lose. If you don't have it, you cannot lose it. That's the main point. If you don't have yourself, if you don't know yourself, you cannot lose it. You cannot lose it. But if you know yourself and you know how valuable you are to yourself, to God, to your community, to your family, and what your assignment is, how valuable that is, you will not forget it. You will not drop it. You will not lose it because you want to be married. You rather wait till you find somebody that works in alignment with who you are and what you have. Is there any second question?
In a way, I think you've lumped it together. Having said that, are we meant to lose ourselves in that marriage? Okay, which you've outrightly answered. So, truly, I mean, let's really reflect on it. Truly, can two people unite without losing themselves in a marriage?
Yes. Yes. You are you. I am me.
Okay.
You are you. I am me. And if, let's say, how do I put it now? How do I put this thing? Okay. Let me use my my line of work as a king. Adasa is a designer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sewist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She creates,
Mm-hmm.
I bring it to life.
Okay.
The major thing is that thing coming to life. Whatever creation she have, whatever is there in her, it still remains her.
Mm.
She don't need to lose what she have for that thing to come to life. She just need to work with me for that thing to come to life. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So for marriage to work, you don't need to lose yourself. You come as your whole person, I come as my whole person. We come together and we make it work. You can't if the two of us are thinking the same way, I don't think it can work. We can think alike, but not the same. We can think alike. Our thinking can come together, intertwine with each other, but exactly the same. We'll have one result. We won't be able to see if we are making mistakes, if we are not making mistakes, if we are doing it right, if we are not doing it right. But you bring your vulnerable self, I bring my vulnerable self, you bring your complete self, I bring my complete self, we jam it together, it comes together. You don't need to lose yourself for it to work. You don't need to. You just need to learn to, okay, as a single person, you just need to learn to find somebody that is willing to work with you in that journey. So I believe, based on that question, two people can be together, not losing themselves, and still make it work.
Unite. Okay.
You fulfill your individual destiny. I fulfill my individual destiny, and then we fulfill the marital destiny. That is my opinion.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. We share one another's opinion, even all that everybody have said, plus my talk, everything. Some people may still not find anything useful to them. Who knows? I don't know. But we're here to charge us to have more open mindset to thinking about certain issues that is causing separation and divorce in a marriage relationship. So this is the best place. We're doing this right now on Insight. So we are getting married. Yay. Everybody's happy. We're all happy. When you get into that marriage, I mean, after the ceremony, now you're in the real institution. My goodness. You don't know what your first year is going to be like. You don't know the tests that will come your way. You don't know the examinations. You don't know the challenges that will come your way, that will start squeezing out certain things you either have or you don't have, but then you're in that institution to learn, really. However, are you coming as you to that relationship, or are you coming that your spouse will build you to who they want you to be? There's so many questions around this topic today, and that's why I always say I give my talk to give it that perspective so that we can focus. But in it all, a man will come into a marriage, a woman will come into a marriage, becomes a husband, becomes a wife. So, them as a person, are they meant to lose themselves in that marriage? That is what we're trying to tackle here. Because a lot of people, like you heard Debbie say, they'll say, oh, once upon a time, I used to do this. A long time ago, I was this. I used to do this. So what has changed? Has your spouse changed this of you? Have you willingly given that up yourself? Or is it the challenges you're facing in that marriage that has squeezed this thing out of you? Or is it you that have to compromise such that it appears like you've lost yourself? There's so many aspects of this that we can actually reflect on, depending where we are in our marriages. Think about it for a moment and see whether there's one or two things you might need to change, you might need to unlearn, relearn, find yourself again, or whatever it is you need to do. Because we need to enjoy the essence of living. How much more the essence of a marriage relationship? I think that when we talk about marriage, we have to avoid compromisions or compromises. Maybe I don't compromise. Georges is not too good with English, he said, but I'm really trying to help understand what he's put up there. We have to avoid compromise, but I don't know if that's what he's saying, because I mean, compromise is part of the package. we can't always have our way 100%. Hence, we need to compromise to make it work. So, Georges, I don't know if you want to come up and we'll try to make sense of what you're trying to put on there. Otherwise, I might not do justice to it because I can only explain with my own understanding of what you have put on there. So thank you, Debbie, once again for your contribution. I think Baritone, you are the last man standing in the box that have not spoken as such. Good evening, good to have you. Maybe it's once a month you want to be showing up because I'm even trying to remember, were you here last month? But all the same, it's good to have you. Good evening, happy Thursday. Happy all the months you have missed. Happy everything. Well, good to have you here. I hope you're good yourself.
Good evening, host, and good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's nice seeing everybody, and I do apologize. It's not always practicable for me to come on. Sometimes I listen on the FYP. Maybe sometimes I'm driving or something. It's not that convenient, but every time I'm with you in spirit, So yeah.
Mr. Barrington, Mr. Barrington, when should I send my account? Because you cannot be making all the money and not show up here and be coming here and be speaking English.
All right, Georges, I hear you. All right.
We go talk, Debbie.
See, I don't hear this. We go talk now. Don't take. Oh,
and you have grown taller. You know,
can you imagine? You see, my lady, he will go. He will go and come back and be. See, your mother is beginning to look like a father that tell their son, "Oh, I'm coming. You go and wear your shoe, and I'll come back." Before I reach door, you have run.
Debbie, Leslie has been representing me, and he's been praying for you.
No. You are Mr. Barito, Mr. Leslie, and everybody have their place. Don't mix everybody.
We're talking about not losing your individual self now. Remember?
God bless you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think
you
I
heard submissions, or do you want me to repeat the questions again, or?
Yeah, you can just touch on the question quickly.
Okay. So we're talking about balancing independence and unity in a marriage relationship. And after so much talk and all of that, the questions are people meant to lose their individual self in a marriage? Okay, whatever, yes, no, however you want to. But truly, can two individuals really unite in that relationship without losing themselves? So,
thank you very much, host. And I think when dealing with issues like this, one has got to be a bit careful to be able to look at things the way they are meant to be looked at. And I pray that the Holy Spirit, who enlightens our heart, because we could be looking at things wrongly, or maybe barking up the wrong tree. Okay. I believe that the issue at hand, the question, is talking about marriage from the point of view of a Christian perspective, because marriage can be a contract, but it's not only a contract, So I've heard a lot, especially from what Debbie has said. I had listened to Susan, and I listened to some of what Leslie said. I listened to, and he kicked it off honestly in a beautiful way.
Did you hear Pastor Maria's submission as well?
No, I didn't. Yeah. So I think to look at this topic, we need to face some home truths.
Okay, help us.
Which is number one, that some of us are not well suited for marriage.
Hey, can you repeat that?
Some of us are not well suited for marriage. Some of us may not have been meant to get married. It's not everyone that was meant to get married. Because if I want to look at that, the first question you asked, yes, we are meant to lose ourselves in marriage. Because the answer to the second question is in the first, the answer is in the first question.
Okay.
If you
Please
look at
help
it, if
us
you
to
want to be honest to
understand.
yourself, because, you know, sorry?
I said, help us to understand, please.
Yes, because marriage, like I said, is a contract, but it is more than a contract. Marriage has a physical element to it, a temporal element, and it also has a spiritual element. That is why it is a model of Christ's relationship with the church. Whether we like it or not, that is just the truth by the Holy Spirit. That is the truth. We may not agree, it is the truth. And that is why Jesus says in John chapter 12, he says, I think Leslie was the one who hit on it. He said, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground, you know, he says anybody who loves his life would lose it, you know. And when Debbie talked about if I was a gym person. No, that is not what this question is talking about. That is you, that is your personality. What this question is talking about is the selfish man losing that selfishness, because man by nature, when I say man, I'm talking about humanity, man and woman. Man by nature is a selfish being. And that's why I said, detach yourself from that selfishness that thinks about me, to join into something bigger. Because without that, there cannot be a marriage. Otherwise, you could have existed by yourself without a spouse. What did you go to the marriage to do? To have children? You could have a contract just to have children with someone and not be in a marriage. Because that marriage calls for sacrifice. It calls for sacrifice. I can understand that why these things, there's always contention or questions about, losing oneself in marriage. I can understand that issue and contention within the milieu of where a situation where some of our men do not live up to expectation of who they are meant to be, like Christ, the good shepherd, who lays down his life for his sheep. You understand? But it is not a quid pro quo. It is not supposed to be that something must happen because something happens. You do your part. Unfortunately, that example Debbie gave about herself and Hadassah they do not meet up with marriage. Marriage can never be a business transaction. They are at par. They are at two different levels. I'm sorry, but that is just the truth. Let us ask the Holy Spirit of God. Whether I'm a gym person, I was a gym person and married after I got married. And that is my personality. It has nothing to, that is not part of losing of oneself. It doesn't mean it has nothing to do with abuse within a marriage situation. It has nothing to do with losing your identity. Of course, you have your identity, but losing that self-centeredness, the selfish man, the selfishness in a person, to embrace that oneness. Because without that oneness, you cannot call it marriage. And like I said, why in more often than not in our societies, which we belong and which we live in, why it is difficult is because the man in the marriage is not living up to his what is expected of him. He's not the shepherd that is meant to be. And what is a shepherd supposed to do? He's supposed to lay down his life. In other words, he also is supposed to die to himself. Because when he lays down his life for his sheep, that means that he gives up everything. Now, if look at it from the point of view of if the man gives up all of himself, what would the woman not do for him? Because I always say that there's a way God has created the woman. The woman was created, it might look like, she's called the lesser vessel, but the woman was created to be able to, the woman is stronger than man, to be able to lift man up. And if the woman sees that this man has given me all of himself, that woman is ready to go to the ends of the earth for the man. And that is why when the woman looks and sees that the man is not doing what he's supposed to do, the woman withholds the love that she's supposed to give. She withholds the person she's supposed to be. She stops dying to herself and she becomes selfish. And the moment selfishness comes in, it is no longer the marriage that it was meant to be. And that is marriage. Leaving that selfish person, So we can pussyfoot around it, but that is just the crux of the matter. You cannot unite without losing yourself. You cannot unite without being selfless. It is not just a contract. It is bigger than a contract, And in the Christian perspective, losing that oneself in marriage is not about being invisible. It's not about disappearing or becoming a doormat to your partner or to your husband or your talent or what your self-dignity disappears. It is rather that spiritual call to die to yourself, the surrender of selfishness, surrender of personal pride and personal desires to serve that spouse, and have one unified flesh. I think there's something Debbie said about one shall face 1,000. Yes, of course, because by the time you become one with that person, you're one. It's not two. 1 + 1 becomes 1. You're no longer two people. You are one. And that is how you will face the 1,000. But the moment you treat marriage as a contract, you can do all sorts of things. You can walk away from that contract without any repercussions. It is a beautiful exchange, and we need to look at it as that. Instead of looking at it as a loss of ourselves, look at it as service, sacrifice, being one flesh. It takes discipline. Somebody said, I don't know who said it, but that marriage is very easy. It's not easy. It is not easy because it's more or less it typifies. It's like it's the Christian journey. That is marriage. You fall, you stand up, you keep walking, you fall again, you stand up. I think Susan said something about being able to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I did wrong here," and that is what marriage is meant to be. Because by the time you're able to say, especially the man, being able to say, I'm sorry, I didn't do that thing I was supposed to do. Please forgive me. It breaks down barriers. It opens doors. Being able to say, I'm sorry in a marriage, that shows that you are not being selfish. You are seeing that you lacked or you lagged behind here or there, and you're admitting to it. So I pray that the Holy Spirit will enter our hearts, each and every one of us, and teach us the truth. Look at it as the truth and nothing less than that. Because if you going into a marriage and you say, oh, this is me, I've always been, everybody's known me as the best dancer and all that, that's pride coming in. That's arrogance coming in. Nobody's saying you should stop being the best dancer because you're married. Your individuality doesn't disappear because you're married. But if I am your husband, if I see that you have that talent, honey, why don't you continue with pursuing this thing? Because you have a talent there. That is me seeing you. You know, I see you and you see me. It's actually losing your selfishness that will help you find yourself the way you are meant to find yourself.
That's the bottom line.
So we do not lose ourselves to remain dead, but we lose our selfishness to find ourselves. I pray that God would implant his word in our hearts, and we would look at it the way the Spirit wants us to. See, I'm just talking. Personally, I'm struggling. I'm struggling in my marriage because it's hard. Perhaps I wasn't one of those made for marriage. Because you have to die totally to yourself, to when I say die to yourself, die to standing up and walking out to want to make it or do it by yourself, as if the other person does not exist. But we are in it, and it's hard, and I struggle every day. You know, I know that truth, and I know that I'm not well suited for it, but I struggle with it. I keep doing, and I ask God, Lord, help me. Because you know that, this wasn't really, the story, but we are in it. What do we go do? Help me. So there are some people like me. That is the truth. Go to the ends of the earth and ask anybody. That is the truth of the gospel. That marriage, you have to die to yourself. And there is no way in view of the second question, there is no way you are able to stay in a marriage as a Christian. I don't know how it works as a Muslim. There's no way you'll be able to stay in a marriage as a Christian without losing yourself. I'll stop there and I pray that God would help us, comprehend what His word holds for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Baritone. Thank you for that submission. It really sinks in. However, I know everybody has come from different perspective to these questions. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. You've all given your submission. Somebody has taken it even deeper than where some people are seeing. And that's just the wealth of knowledge that comes on here on Insight, and I really appreciate that. It's like, yeah, we've been touching surface a bit deep here and there, and you really took it home for us, and I pray that the Lord will help us understand. All you have said, I agree with your submission, Debbie's, Leslie's, Shan, everybody. And the bottom line is, because that's why I asked the second question, that truly, really, because when you talk about unity, as we know from the Christian perspective, because this is where we talk from anyways, unite, two, because they're individuals coming to be as one. Yes, of course, a lot of things they will have to deal with. Is it the background? You didn't grow up in the same household. You didn't have the same life experiences that have shaped you to be this person. Even as both Christians, both of you being Christians, you're at different levels in your spiritual walk, and you still come together regardless of your level in your spirituality. You still come together to want to unite body, soul, and spirit, to unite. It's gonna be a lot of hard work. And that's why I always send us back. I say, I don't have any other place we can refer to. I will not send you to go and check encyclopedia. The Bible, what does it say? Yeah, there's an aspect of losing yourself in that context Baritone has just shared, which I quite agree. But also, you're still an individual. Just, you gave the example as well. I mean, I used to be a dancer. You met me a dancer. I was going top. And now, because I'm married, you say you don't know more dancing. Because that is yourself that has gone as well. So there's always that thin line. And remember, in my talk, I always say the balance. There has to be a balance. Some of us, we have this selfish nature, as you have said. when we come into marriage, selflessness will become your number one thing, because you will learn to be selfless, except you're not into that marriage wholeheartedly, and all of these things. There's so many dynamics to this topic, and I appreciate the fact that you even mentioned the Holy Spirit. I always say, all my own experience, all is not from sermon, or sermon can only do so much. It's the Holy Spirit dealing with my individual marriage, and he needs to speak to me or speak to my husband to help us. 27-year journey. I know of people that we started together and 10 years down the line is gone. Some people 5 years even gone. I'm not saying I'm perfect. No. You think it's easy? No, it's not. A part of me too has died, and a new part of me also has risen. So there's so many aspects to this topic, but all we're saying is, where we are at in our marriages, let's pause for a second and think, reflect. Are we giving each other the best support? Have we died to self in that marriage? Because sometimes, we're good, all of this, but you find out that deep down, we might still need to lose a bit of the selfishness some more, so to say, and become even more selfless. And we're talking about just two people. And imagine the service you have to give to humanity. If you're struggling with this one person, how are you going to do that, to other people around? It's a huge topic, and truly it's the Holy Spirit that will help each marriage. Because where we're at in our marriages are different phases, different levels. But the Holy Spirit knows all things. Please, let him guide you. There's a time to be quiet. There's a time to speak up. There's a time to be selfless. And I dare say there's a time to be selfish. But that one will probably expand another time, I don't know. But in it all, God has created each person a unique individual, whether a man, whether a woman. We are uniquely created. So we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And now you meet with another unique person. Look, that's why I said God created marriage, because he knows it can work. But we don't have certain understandings. We don't have certain knowledge. And that's why we're struggling. And my prayer is truly that the Holy Spirit will meet each individual in that union, such that they will see what he would have them see, and they will work at it and bring out the best. And not just that, pass it on to the next generation, because this is how we'll keep that goodness going, that essence of marriage going. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the need for going into that marriage? Are you mentally ready? Are you ready to let go of certain things? Because when you come into that marriage, it's not just about you, really. You heard Pastor Maria even said, she does this, does that. When the children came, you can't blame God for giving you these children you've been crying for. She had to adjust. Some people will even dare say, I can't have children because of, and that is still a bit of selfishness. And your spouse, they want a child so badly. Did you not talk about these things before going into marriage? Did you talk about it? You both agree you're having to, and now you're in the marriage, you feel, oh, well, I don't have to? Was that part of the discussion? So there's a whole lot of dynamics to this particular topic. However, you're in your marriage, I'm in my marriage. At least we've gotten something out of this, I want to believe. Let the Holy Spirit guide you. Pray. Hey, prayer works, guys. It does work. And sometimes God will not answer you straight away, because there's certain things he wants you to learn, certain things he wants you to let go, certain things he needs you to understand, such that, life becomes at least somewhat easier. God will help all of us. You know what? I don't have all the answers, I always say. I pray that the Holy Spirit will minister to us where we're at in our marriages. And if you're courting, you're dating or whatever, please be serious about it. Marriage is not a bed of roses. It comes with thorns as well. Are you ready for both? Are you ready for the bed of roses? Are you ready for the thorns it's going to bring? Because these two will definitely come your way, trust me. We'll leave it there. let's go and, think more about it, pray more about it, let the Holy Spirit guide us. Some of us still need to die to this flesh, to be honest with you. Otherwise, we may not enjoy the full essence of being married or how God really wants us to enjoy it. I'll leave it there and I'll bring my riddle. Aye, serious talk. Let's laugh a bit before we go. And this one is a riddle, not tongue twister. So I need an answer from somebody. However, Leslie, Shan, Kenneth, Baritone, Susan, Debbie, Pastor Maria, who else I've dropped off? Eno, who's dropped off. Thank you so much for your contributions. Yes, so many aspects. Yeah, so many aspects. Let the Holy Spirit expand, the one that concerns us, and our marriages. I pray so. So this is my riddle, guys. The first man to answer, if you're in the box, you can unmute and say, or you tap it in there. Whoever answers first will get something off of us tonight. So the riddle is this. I have a crown, but I am not a king. I wear a coat, but I am not a man. What am I? I have a crown, but I am not a king. Maybe Leslie will help me type this one on there. I have a crown, but I am not a king. I wear a coat, but I am not a man. What am I? What am I? Yeah. Hopefully if we get it today. Yeah. If not, I may have to bring it back, but hopefully somebody will get the answer today. So somebody helping me to type, I have a crown, but I am not a king. I wear a coat, but I am not a man. What am I? Any taker? Leslie, Shan,
Yeah.
anybody? Elder
Yeah.
Kenneth, Bariton, you have the answer?
Is it a pineapple?
You're asking me, is it? I'm asking you a question. You're asking me, are you a typical Nigerian man?
Pineapple?
Nah.
No.
Nope. That's why I'm
Blimey.
laughing. If you get it right, I'll clap for you. If you get it wrong, I will laugh. I have a crown, but I am not a king. I wear a coat, but I am not a man. What am I? Is my screen frozen? You guys can hear me, right? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I don't know what's going on there.
I
Okay.
have a
All right.
crown.
I have a
And
crown,
then I wear.
but I am not a king.
Yeah.
I wear a coat, but I'm not
What's
a
the color of
man.
the coat? What's the color of the coat?
It could be any color you want it to be. Any color, but usually it could be white. What am
Is it
I?
a tooth? Is it a tooth?
No, baritone.
A tooth.
I said no.
Hey, hey, Abasimbi.
Well, maybe you want to go deep down in your language. Perhaps you'll find the solution or the answer for me. I have a crown, but I am not a king. I wear a coat, but I am not a man. What am I? You are thinking, Leslie. Please think. Think very well. Maybe I should go and get you a wooden spoon so you think. Yes. I didn't think it would be this difficult. We'll bring it back on Monday, guys. I'm not giving us the answer that easily. Shan, any answer? Susan, Elder Kenneth, Elder. I have a crown, but I am not a king. I wear a coat, but I am not a man. What am I? Be nice. I see you. Thanks for joining.
When you say you're not a man, are you a thing?
I am not a thing.
You are.
But I'm a noun.
What letter do you does your name?
No, I can't give you any clue other than what I've said.
Oh,
Hey,
God.
don't
Are you an
overthink.
animal? Are you an animal?
Place or thing, a noun.
Hey, Debbie, you're not saying.
It's a noun.
I have to ask you a question, Mr. Barton. Why did you mention my name?
Now, because you're
Why?
quiet. Leslie's praying for you. Answer this.
The first thing that came to my mind, she said she's not. So I'm trying to see.
What about a lion?
I say, stop asking me. Give me the answer. You're still saying, what about? You're asking me or you're telling me?
Lion.
No.
Shoe.
I have a
Shan.
crown, but I'm not a king. I wear a coat,
Shan. You.
but I'm not a man. What am I? This one you're calling everybody's name. Let every man bear his own name today. Oh. Yes? I've even called everybody outright, so... Debbie, she's thinking, Leslie is thinking about it. Shan, probably, I don't know. She's thinking about it as well. Elder Kenneth is just laughing. I can see you through this thing, even though your camera is not on. Elder Kenneth is laughing like, which one did this woman bring again? Oh, yeah, a riddle is being solved live on stream. Can you guess the answer? Coat of arms. Hey, qua. Yeah. Leslie, I don't know where you bring all these your answers from. They're just funny. I have a crown, but I'm not a king. I wear a coat, but I'm not a man.
And you are not a fruit.
What am I? I'm what?
You said not fruit.
Fruit.
You said not fruit. As in not any fruit. In case I mention any fruit.
No, it's not. That much I can say. You people, you're asking me a question. I'm the one asking the question here, please. If you want to answer, just tell me it is something. Peacock. No. No. Leslie, well done. Nice attempt. But no. I have a crown, but I'm not a king. I wear a coat, but I'm not a man. What am I? Going to Monday, going to Monday. Shine till the...
Okay, give us clues. We've tried.
I said it's a noun. That's not part of my question. That's a clue. And you know what your noun is. If you don't know, go and Google it. So it's gonna come back on Monday, unfortunately, because it'll be too easy to just give you the answer like that. I want you people to sweat a bit now. But yeah, so I'll give us till the weekend to go and do our research. You said what, Debbie?
You said a place or thing. What kind of thing is this one?
I said it's a noun. It's a noun. N-O-U-N.
I know.
Noun.
It's a noun.
So yeah.
Hold on. Leslie said peacock, and you said nice attempt. So it might be something to do with
Animal.
that group of animals, like a cock. He said not a peacock, like a rooster, something like a cock.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barito.
Oh, really? So that's it.
Okay,
That's
tell me
correct.
the answer now. Tell me because you're just guessing. Tell me what I clapped for.
A cock.
Yeah, me.
No.
Adìyẹ.
A rooster?
A rooster.
A rooster. Yes, thank you. You see, that's a clue. I'm like, is somebody gonna pick up on that? When he said peacock, I'm like, no, but nice attempt. Let's see who's smart enough. Okay, thank you all for the attempt. Well done.
But a rooster is a cock.
Yeah, you can't. This is my answer, unfortunately.
Okay.
Wait.
Anyway,
Is a rooster
we
not
still
a
got
cock?
there.
Peacock.
It is.
No.
Does peacock not have a crown?
So the riddle has been answered.
Anyway,
It's a rooster. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. It's a rooster. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's not even if you like debate from now till tomorrow. That's
nobody's
exactly.
debating. I'm just thinking, Mr. Leslie
Let me.
Gossip.
You see, when you wrote peacock, nothing even came. Did the animal come for you? It should have been there actually. But yeah, the answer I was looking for is a rooster. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Maybe next week somebody else will bring us a redo. And then me too, I will try to attempt and all of I don't know if you want it that way, but all the same, thank you so much.
If I bring you a reading, you will not get it.
It doesn't matter, bring it. You want us, we can start doing that so that it's
No,
not on me alone.
I beg, leave me alone.
Oh, so when I say, Debbie, oh yeah, where's your redo or your tongue twister? You put it on the screen. All of us will attempt it. And whoever gets it right, you give them the gift. Okay, now. Very funny, Debbie. Guys, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, midnight. Yay, it's been a while we've been here for this long. I appreciate every single one of you. You know that. Thank you for all the tappings. 219. Let's just make it 220 now, please. Let's just round it up to 220. I know we can do that in 5 seconds even. Thank you so much for your contribution. This topic, I believe strongly, is something we need to go and still look at individually, get more knowledge, let God expand it the way He wants you to understand it, because there's so many aspects to this topic. However, bottom line is how to enjoy the essence of living or being in our marriage relationship. It's hard, guys. And we won't lie to you that it's not, but it can be enjoyed as well. And that's why you need the help of the Holy Spirit. I always say be Holy Ghost skated. Be Holy Ghost skated will make life easy. Hey, I say my own no. Thank you so much. Guys, have a lovely night. Enjoy the weekend. We'll be back here on Monday by the grace of God, 8 p.m. UK time with another interesting individual topic, something we might need to work on again, as usual, so that we can enjoy the essence of living. That's the whole idea. Thank you for joining me on Inside with FunmiRoyal. Enjoy the weekend. Be good. And be selfless, but don't lose yourself. That's what I'll say. Do not lose yourself. You are fearfully and wonderfully made by God. He didn't make a mistake when He created you. He didn't make mistakes putting those gifts and talents in you. And they're not meant to be buried either, whether you're married or single. God will continue to help us all. Thank you so much, Baritone. Thank you. I appreciate that. Good night, everyone. I feel like singing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Baritone. Thank you. Who is that? Okay. Thank you so much. Oh, I think we've completed one of the goals for today. I think so. Thank you so much. Yay. Oh, you don't want us to close? Okay, I can wait. Oh, hey. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday by the grace of God. Thank you. Good night, guys. Thank you, Baritone. Thank you. My lucky day. Thank you, Debbie. 813. Thank you so much. Susan, thank you. Kenneth, thank you, Baritone. Thank you, Shan. Thank you, Leslie. Pastor Maria, thank you, Mark, for stopping by. I think there might be some people here. Sling 264. I see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. See you guys on Monday. Good night, everyone.